Manufacturers Association.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. According to a new special report on business and racial justice from the Edelman Trust Barometer, there's a big disconnect between employees and their bosses on DEI efforts. Gavin Lewis is a managing director at BlackRock and thinks the lack of progress might be because a lot of big companies don't have a way of measuring risk related to a lack of diversity.
Diversity, equity and inclusion is really, really important. It's important for the well-being and inclusiveness of employees. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't allow us to really understand how a lack of, for example, a group in an organization or their performance in an organization or representation affects the company's bottom line.
That's one reason Lewis wrote his book, The Opportunity Index.
The index is an attempt to quantify the risk of economic inequality.
Making clear metrics that show why diversity matters can help incentivize solving long-standing racial issues. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears, breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You're not put here to be a white man's footstool. You're put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
From Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man, but I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. So I got some good news. Our phone lines are back up. Yesterday, our phone lines were down. As every so often, we'll have a couple of technical difficulties, and yesterday proved that fact, but our phone number is up and running, 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. And I'm thinking that the subject matter I'm going to attempt to tackle today might be a subject matter in which you all may be interested to share your thoughts and feelings, because you know I'm going to share my thoughts and feelings. Now, the other way in which people can communicate with this program is via YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app on your phone or your smart device, you search 1017 The Truth, you'll see the little live notification. You click on that, it'll take you directly to the the stream, so you'll be able to participate that way, which still says truth be told. I think there's like a lag. Is there a lag on the YouTube? I don't know what's happening with stuff. But here, let me also share this with you. So you can comment on the YouTube, but if you're driving, well, first of all, you shouldn't be texting and driving. Don't do that, even though I sometimes do it, but I'm a very good texter and driver. Is that possible, to be a good texter and driver? I'm cautious and careful. I usually text at stoplights or whatever. But I'm going to give you a number to text until we get our talk to text line back up. So the phone number is still the same. I don't want to confuse nobody. The number I'm going to give you is only for texting. If you want to share your comments via text because you can't call and you can't comment on the YouTube stream. I know a lot of like drivers, delivery drivers, UPS drivers, the mailmen that we have to listen to this program, like Brittany. They can't comment via the YouTube, and they're usually very participatory in our conversations. Let me give you a phone number that you can text if you want to share your text comments. And depending upon what you say, I can read them on the air. Some of y'all are wild with what you text. I can't read like 40% of what gets texted in because y'all have zero home training. Can't read that stuff. It's 414-395-0484. I'm going to repeat that number again. So this is going to be a temporary text number only for my show. Don't text this number and look for Tori. This is my phone number. And y'all listen to me now. Don't be calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning asking me what I'm wearing. You understand? This is just until we get our text line back up and running during our programs. Don't use this number to talk to Melanie, to talk to Dr. Kent. Don't do it. I'll respond by cussing you out. Only between 9 a.m. and noon are you going to use this number, 414-395-0484. So that's going to be the new temporary talk and text line. We good? Okay. Let me provide you guys with some information for you to do with as you will. Okay? I don't like to tell folks what to do because then I get disappointed when they don't listen. But I'm going to give you information, and then with that information, I want you to make the best decision possible. I know that everybody is different. Our lives are different. Our goals, our dreams, our hopes, our aspirations are different. Our families are different. Our neighborhoods, communities are different. You know what else is different? Our bank accounts. Some of y'all have very big bank accounts. You have lots of money. Some of you don't have lots of money. So I know what the differences are. But with that being said, with us all being different and individuals and unique, I want you to be able to make the best decision that you possibly can with the information that is provided. All right? Maybe I say this is a cautionary tale, or maybe it's the dose of reality that everybody needs. But here's the good news about what I'm going to share with you guys. And it is intensely political, what we're going to talk about today. I know lately we've kind of drifted away from political topics and, freestyled some of our topics, I suppose. But I think it is necessary and important to get back to the business of politics because it is an extremely important topic that has far-reaching implications and consequences. Like literally everything in our lives, in one form or another, can be related to that which is political, right? So there's a plan to completely revamp and overhaul the federal government in the event that a Republican defeats Joe Biden and Kamala Harris later on this year. And if you're looking at polls, which I am, now again, it's early and a lot of things can happen. Like the whole world can change in an instant. So looking at a poll that is a year away from an election may not be the most accurate. But the good news about what I'm going to share with you, what the Republicans' plan is, and they're very transparent. So there's one thing I can respect and appreciate about what the Republicans are doing. They're not hiding anything anymore. They're very transparent. They used to operate under the cover of darkness. They would put together a plan, an idea, and a scheme. They would meet behind closed doors and have these conversations in a cigar smoke-filled room, and they would come up with these ideas and this agenda. And then when they got to the legislative floor or to the executive office or to the judiciary, they knew what their marching orders were. Now they are sharing this with the people. They have no fear. They're so bold and what they are trying to do. And I believe them. Somebody said it, Oprah said it, Maya Angelou said it. When somebody shows you who they are, you believe them. Please believe them. I think a lot of us operated under this illusion that, Trump wouldn't be that bad. There's all sorts of checks and balances. There's no checks and balances. There's none. Because there's a thing in America that can totally usurp morality, decency, dignity, humanity, what's good, what's right, what's just. There's something that supersedes all of that. All these principles that we learn, that we're taught. Religious principles, family principles, community principles. There is something that overshadows all of that. While those things are extremely important, there is something bigger than all of those wonderful things that make human beings wonderful. And it's power. Power is a heroin that is so addictive. It is so all-encompassing that it takes over normal, rational thinking. It takes over morality. It is an addiction. And once somebody gets a taste of it, they cannot get enough. And it will corrupt absolutely. And power will also kill you. But it's such an addiction. It must be so incredibly sweet that they are willing to cast aside all of the things that are supposed to make a nation great for power. And now they're sharing this with everybody, because it's amazing how the American interpretation of civics is personal, right? It's how I think this government feels. If I have a government that hates the same people that I do, I don't care whose rights are violated, because the government is speaking my language. If I don't want immigrants coming over here, if I don't want black people to vote, if I want to keep incomes low, if I want to marginalize women and tell them they cannot make decisions over their own health care, that's the government that some people want. As bad as it may be, as harmful and as hateful as that government may be, that is what some people want, because it agrees with their internal philosophy. There is very little support for the common good, and I don't even know what the common good is. Each group, each ethnicity, each race has their own wish list of things that they want, which comes before the greater needs of all of the people. So there are some things that they are working on right now, and they're preparing for 2025. And here's the thing. For this plan to be enacted, I'm going to share the details of it with you. You don't even have to do anything. In order for this new government in America that they have written a manuscript about, when I say they've written a manuscript of what they want to do to each and every federal department, it is 710 pages. And it's available publicly. Anybody can read it. 710 pages, how they are going to completely transform the federal government. They want Trump, because Trump will be the easiest one to implement this plan, but really any Republican president. And all you have to do is nothing. All you have to do is continue to tell yourself, your friends, and your family that Joe Biden is old. That's all you got to do. And you are going to get this plan for free. It's not going to cost you anything on the front end. But in the event that Donald Trump gets elected, can we be clear? Donald Trump getting elected is basically enough people thinking that Joe Biden is old and falls a lot. That's it. That's how simple it is now. As complicated as American politics is, forget all that complicated stuff. Anybody got time for all that complicated stuff, doing all that reading and such, that understanding and researching history? Anybody got no time for that? Joe Biden is old. Trump's a businessman. Gas prices were cheaper, even though they weren't. All you got to do is nothing. Costs you no dollars. But what you will ultimately pay if this plan gets implemented will cost everything. So I'm going to take a break, come back. I'm going to share some details of what they're calling Project 2025. I got a 710-page digital manuscript in front of me. They're calling it Mandate for Leadership, the Conservative Promise. It is 710 pages. It's very thorough. It's incredibly thought out. And these are not dummies that put this together. These are lawyers. These are scholars. These are academics. but they are so obsessed with the heroin of power that it doesn't matter that it's going to harm people. It's going to hurt people. And it's going to destroy what you thought was a democracy. Oh, you're going to love this. And again, to implement this, all you have to do is nothing. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Sherwin Hughes from The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. And Truth Nation, you can now watch my show live on YouTube every day from 9 a.m. until noon. Yep, you can get 3 full hours of watching Sherwin doing his thing streaming live on YouTube Monday through Friday. You'll get the same insightful conversations about policy, politics, and lifestyle while also seeing my reaction to the unpredictability of our listeners. So go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and see this wonderful smile live every day.
Hey, it's Jason Wildig for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
I'm tired. I'm tired of watching this city fall apart and have leaders who will not say why. What is the issue with saying what the issue is? I have 5 things that need to be addressed in the black community to mitigate, to stop crime, period. Hands down, full stop. Number 1, when your kid does something wrong, they need to be held accountable. If it's a smack on the wrist for something they did that was little, that's fine. Otherwise, they need to be held accountable. Number 2, parents, you need to take care of and raise your kids. It is not the job of the police, the fire department, the school, or anybody else to raise the kid that you decided to have. It's on you. For those kids that have now come into adulthood, go to college for at least an associate's degree in a trade. That way you can either start your own business or get a good job. Number 2, when you graduate from high school with at least a 2.5 grade point average or higher. And then finally, probably the number 1 thing that everybody needs to think about, and whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant, it's my truth take. If you disagree, God bless you. But the bottom line is, wait to get married before you have children. Why? Because the responsibility of raising them is on you.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
So first, I'm going to share some stuff with you. And this is written by a guy named Lawrence Britt. And he is, let's just say he's an academic and a scholar. And he wrote this 20 years ago. And I'm going to name these 14 different little bullet points. I'm not going to read like the details of all of them, but I think some of them are going to sound very familiar. So this was 20 years ago, written as like a warning. Like, hey, watch out for any of these 14 things. And if you notice 1 or 2 of these 14 different things, your democracy is under threat. Maybe I need to clear up the fact that I don't know if... So I'm black. Do y'all know that? Does everybody... Can we agree that I'm an African-American person? Okay, good. My history in this country, our history as black people, and it's American history. Let me be clear about that too. And it's more than just Martin Luther King. But the most honest thing about Dr. King is not like he did a bunch of stuff, right? His birthday is a holiday. Like for your birthday to be a holiday, you got to be really important or a slave owner. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one or the other. Like wow, you did great stuff, or you owned people. That's how you get a birthday holiday, right? So he did really important. So Dr. King didn't own any people, I don't think. I hope not. That'd be embarrassing. So he did a lot of stuff like, don't judge somebody by the color of their skin, content of their character. He went to Washington, D.C. in August of 1963, and he was dreaming. He had a dream. He's nonviolent, so don't punch people in the face or whatever. Just get punched in the face and like respond with love. Like he did all the stuff. He did a lot of things, right? But the most significant thing about Dr. King and his legacy, and he was a pastor, reverend, preacher man. He was a man of God. Faith entered into his lexicon often. A lot of his speeches, quite honestly, were religious sermons because I think he believed he could connect to the good hearts and minds of the American people via God and religion, right? It's a good strategy. We like God here. His name is on the money, and God we trust, even though we trust money way more than God. I can't call We Energies and be like, hey, We Energies, God's got me. God is going to take care of my bills. No, We Energy will cut my electricity off. So money actually has a higher standing and status than God does. Now, I know some of y'all are going to disagree. By all means. The most significant thing about Dr. King and his accomplishments in America and the man that he was and the monuments and the statues and the streets named after him and how we still quote him to this day. But the most significant thing about him and his goodness was that America killed him. As good as he was and as much as he tried to do, and he didn't want to cause any harm, he made it abundantly clear that he did not want to harm. He didn't want people to be violent. He wanted the violence of the oppressor to stand alone, because if we would have fought back, it would have just looked like a bunch of people fighting in the streets. He wanted the physical violence perpetuated against black people with their own money. Those police officers, those firefighters with the hoses and those trained dogs were paid for by black people's tax money. So he wanted to show the physical brutality of what Jim Crow separation and segregation looks like. When you think about it, it's really genius because racism is violent. Y'all think that words ain't violent, that policy isn't violent. Yes, it is. It's extremely violent. He wanted to show the physical violence associated with those thoughts and sentiments of racism and Jim Crow and all of that. But the most significant thing about him is that we killed him. He was doing too much. That's what they say nowadays. You doing too much. Dr. King was doing too much, so America killed him. But we gave him a holiday, and there's like a big statue of him in Washington, D.C. You ever been to the Washington, D.C. monument for Dr. King? He looks mad. His arms is folded. He's not even making eye contact with us. Y'all done messed up my legacy. That's probably what he would say, but he can't say anything because he's dead. 14 things I want you to pay attention to. These things were written 20 years ago by a guy named Lawrence Britt. Some of these may sound familiar. And if they don't sound familiar, I'm going to apply these different 14 bullet points to what is going on right now in front of your face in your country. And black people, I don't think that we believe that democracy applies to us because we live in a democratic society, yet the democratic society has still been incredibly unjust and unfair for us. So I think we really don't care what happens next because it's easy for us to resign to the fact that what system we have in place right now just ain't working for us. So how bad could another system be? Oh, you have no idea. See, we've never lived under something different. What if you took all of the hate and if you took all of the disparity and you took all of the unfairness and you made it much more intelligent and much more sophisticated and much more covert, and you reformed the government based upon the hate that still exists for black people, marginalized people, for women? Hillary Clinton didn't get elected because she was a woman. That's it. That's it. So if you take all of that hate, that disdain, that disrespect of all of different people, and you create a government out of that, here's what you're ultimately going to get. And again, it's not going to cost you anything. And we love stuff that's free 99. You don't have to do anything. This is going to be gifted to you. All you got to do is just chill out, relax, just worry about you, go to work, take care of your family. You don't have to put in any effort. That's why this is so dangerous. It requires you to do nothing. Not to stop it, you got to work. And you're not going to get paid for the work either. But for this plan to get implemented, all you got to do is just chill, watch TikToks. I like TikTok, by the way. A lot of history, real stuff on TikToks. Rhea, do you like TikToks? Do you have TikToks? You don't really like the TikToks. Do you be dancing on TikToks? You don't dance on the TikToks. All right, let me get to my 14 bullet points, and we'll talk about your TikToks later. Number 1, powerful and continuing expressions of nationalism. So these are things that Lawrence Britt said 20 years ago. It's like, hey, make sure none of this happens in America, because if it does, if one or two of these things happen, it's a uh-oh. So I'm going to read all 14. That was the first one. Powerful and continuing expressions of nationalism is number 1. Number 2, disdain for the importance of human rights. Number 3, identification of enemies / scapegoats as a cause to unify people. Number 4, the supremacy of the military and avid support for more militarism. Number 5, rampant sexism. Number 6, a controlled mass media. Number 7, an obsession with national security. Are any of these sounding familiar? Maybe they're not. Number 8, religion and ruling elites tied together. Number 9, power of corporations protected. Number 10, power of labor suppressed or eliminated altogether. Number 11, disdain and suppression of intellectuals and the arts. Number 12, obsession with crime and punishment. Number 13, rampant cronyism and corruption. And number 14, the piece de resistance, fraudulent elections. From the New York Times, Donald J. Trump and his allies are planning a sweeping expansion of presidential power over the machinery of government if voters return him to the White House in 2025, reshaping the structure of the executive branch to concentrate far greater authority directly in his hands. So I just read those 14 bullet points. They have created a 710-page documented manuscript of how they're going to implement all 14 things that I just read, all 14 of those bullet points, and they spell it out with shocking clarity. It's very well articulated. In fact, I'm going to post it in the Hughes Views Facebook group. Not that you're going to do anything about it, but I just want you to be exposed to the information that they are putting out about how they are going to transform the United States federal government under Donald Trump's leadership. And again, you don't have to do anything for this to happen. This is going to be given to you for free. In fact, you can help them. You can help them with the 14-point plan. All you got to do is keep telling a whole bunch of people that Joe Biden is old and Kamala Harris is somebody that you don't like. That's all you got to do. And they're going to gift you this for helping them implement this plan. They're just going to give it to you. We'll take a break, come back, give a few more details on what they are planning to do. And they're not kidding, right? They're not testing the waters. Trump's first term was the test, and they realized where they went wrong. You know what I mean? Because Trump got charged like that wasn't supposed to happen. You think they haven't learned from that? You think they haven't redefined the boundaries of what can and cannot be done? They have. They learned quickly, apparently. We're going to talk more about it on the other side. If you need to text, this is a temporary text line for this show. So the number I'm about to give you, if you want to text in, is not to be used on other shows. It's just for The Truth with Sherwin Hughes between 9 a.m. and noon, Monday through Friday, until we get our other text line back up, and that number is 414-395-0484. 414-395-0484. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Looking for a special gift? Attending a holiday party? Goody Gourmet's has got you covered. With their gourmet popcorn flavors, you're sure to find something for everyone. Whether it's sweet, savory, or a combination of both, share the gift that pops this holiday season. Or try their premium hand-dipped chocolates. Located in Glendale and online, they ship nationwide. Place your order today at goodygourmets.com. That's goodygourmets.com. Goody Gourmets is also closed for Christmas through New Year, so place your order today. Happy holidays from Goody Gourmets.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Stein. The knockout stage is set tonight in Milwaukee. The NBA's in-season tournament returns to the Brew City as the Bucks get set to host the New York Knicks in the quarterfinals tonight at Pfizer Forum. According to Bucks All-Star forward Chris Middleton, it's a game this team isn't taking lightly.
We believe, it's kind of a must-win game. We want to go to Vegas. We want to play in the championship. We want to win.
Tip-off tonight is set for 6:30. Coverage will get underway over on WTMJ beginning at 6. Week 13 of the NFL season concluded last night with the Cincinnati Bengals walking off the Jacksonville Jaguars in overtime, winning by a final score of 34-31. And lastly, just days after the big win over the number 3 ranked Marquette Golden Eagles, the now ranked number 23 Wisconsin Badgers will head out to Michigan State for a Big Ten battle. That tip-off is all set for 6 p.m. This sports update is brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our temporary text number is 414-395-0484. 414-395-0484. 414-373 says, good morning, Sherwin Big Dog Hughes. Gas did get more expensive when Biden took office. It hit like $4 a gallon. But now that elections are coming up, gas is going down. Is gas y'all's only concern? What about being able to vote in elections? What about being able to go to healthcare.gov and select health insurance that meets your needs that's also affordable? Is it just gas prices? Have y'all ever thought about when gas runs out? Because we can't make more of it. But maybe I'm just detached because my car runs on lightning. Well, I get 40 miles of lightning power and then the gas engine kicks in. But most days I commute less than 10 miles, so I don't worry about the gas prices. In fact, whenever it is I get gas, however many months passes, gas is always a different price. It doesn't even matter. I spend more money on coffee, I'm not kidding y'all, than gas. So you got to impact me differently to get me to change how I'm going to vote or my political philosophy other than the gas prices. But for some of y'all, you are clearly one issue voters. And there's a lot of people that just vote on the issue. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, Kiana, she texted. Where's Kiana's message at? She says, don't read on the show. Got the message, Kiana. I won't read it on the show. Has anybody sent me anything I can read? 414-982 says, oh, the chains are off. Let's go. And actually, the chains they're still on and they're getting tighter. 414-510 says, good morning. So I don't have your names saved, and I don't think I'm going to save y'all's names in this. I'm not. So when you guys text the old number, your names were saved in the address book, but we are. So no, it's not that we didn't pay the text message bill. That the company that we were using literally went out of business. That's why you can't text the same phone number that you call to make the phone ring. The text messaging company that we were using went out of business. Donald J. Trump and his allies are planning a sweeping expansion of presidential power over the machinery of government if voters return him to the White House in 2025, reshaping the structure of the executive branch to concentrate far greater authority directly in his hands. Their plans to centralize more power in the Oval Office stretch far beyond the former president's recent remarks that he would order a criminal investigation into his political rival Joe Biden, signaling his intent to end the post-Watergate norm of Justice Department independence from the White House and political control. Mr. Trump and his associates have a broader goal to alter the balance of power by increasing the president's authority over every part of the federal government that now operates, by either law or tradition, with any measure of independence from political interference by the White House, according to a review of his campaign policy proposals and interviews with people closest to him. Trump intends to bring independent agencies like the Federal Communications Commission, which makes and enforces rules for television, radio, internet companies, and the Federal Trade Commission, which enforces various antitrust and other consumer protection rules, rights against business, under direct control of Trump himself. He also wants to revive the practice of, quote, impounding funds or refusing to spend money Congress has appropriated for programs the president doesn't like, a tactic that lawmakers banned under Nixon. He intends to strip employment protections from tens of thousands of career civil servants, making it easier to replace them if they are deemed obstacles to Trump's agenda. And he plans to scour the intelligence agencies, the State Department, and the defense bureaucracies to remove officials as he has vilified as the, quote, sick political class that hates our country. And so something that was shared about this agenda some time ago is so the new litmus test for how you were able to work in the federal government if Trump gets inaugurated in 2025 is your fealty to him. It doesn't matter what your experience is. It doesn't matter if you know how to run or operate a government agency. Doesn't matter what your resume is are you loyal to him? Can you imagine for a second? Because I think y'all over the past few years have gotten familiar with people that are loyal to Donald Trump. Could you imagine if the entire federal government is supposed to oversee plans and programs and departments to help people, to assist people, to distribute aid? Could you imagine if all of the people that work in the entirety of the federal government are loyal to a single man? Imagine that. That is how they are going to get hired. Here's the good part, we don't even have to do anything for that to happen. They're going to give us this for free. All you got to do, keep telling yourself and others that Joe Biden is just old. Because having an old president is certainly a lot worse than having 5,000 federal employees loyal to a single man. Quote, the president's plan should be to fundamentally reorient the federal government in a way that hasn't been done since FDR's New Deal, said John McEntee, a former White House personnel chief, who began Mr. Trump's systemic attempt to sweep out officials deemed to be disloyal to Trump in 2020, who is now involved in mapping out this new approach. Our current executive branch, Mr. Ente added, was conceived only by liberals for the purpose of promulgating liberal policies. Don't really think it's all that liberal. There is no way to make the existing structure function in a conservative manner. It's not enough to get the personnel right. What's necessary is a complete system overhaul of the federal government. And so if you're a black person, how do you think you benefit from any of this? Do y'all understand that we're the first ones to be excised? It's easy to oppress and to marginalize black folks. That blueprint has been written before this country was a country. So if you think that we're going to have a bigger stake, or if you think we're going to get more fairness, better yet, if you think you're going to get your reparations with this new plan, no, because it's not 710 pages. I'm pretty sure that none of it said anything about the reparations. However, for some of you, this plan may come with lower gas prices, so it might be worth it. I'm going to take a pause for the cause, come back and read some of your text messages at 414-395-0484, 414-395-0484, which is our temporary text line until we get a new service installed with our call-in phone number. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee, it's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes from Truth Be Told on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
We want to make sure you join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. for our Black Friday shout-out powered by We Energies.
Black Friday is your opportunity to call into 1017 The Truth and shout out your black-owned business and let Milwaukee know what you have to offer.
So hit us up every Friday at 8 a.m. to shout out your black-owned business on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
I'm attorney David Gruber. You've heard our slogan thousands of times, but we are much more than just one call. We are one team, one community, one family, and we're the one law firm that can get you the results and compensation you deserve after a serious accident. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
The Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce would like to invite you to attend their upcoming Black and Diverse Business Showcase on Friday, December 8th at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. This informative showcase will be an excellent opportunity for business-to-business networking and business-to-consumer connecting. Truth Nation, you should be there. Sign up to attend this incredible Black and Diverse Business Showcase on Friday, December 8th at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee today by visiting WBCC.com. You should be there.
Here at the new 1017 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 1017 The Truth, founded by American Family Insurance. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
This is 1017 The Truth's Melanie Ricks, and the time is now, Milwaukee. I believe that our listeners deserve the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and that's exactly what we're going to bring to you every day from 12 to 1 p.m. We're going to be talking about life, love, relationships, sports, pop culture, and all things Milwaukee. Listen to Nothing But the Truth with me, Melanie Ricks, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
$414-559 says, money will never be over God. I feel bad for those that have that mindset. You ever try to pay your rent with God? I listen, I go to church every Sunday. God, you got me this month? Yes, my child. You ever try to purchase your cheaper gas prices with a little prayer? You ever prayed at a gas pump and then have the price go to all triple zeros? Now, I'm being somewhat facetious. And I'm not getting to religion today because then Al is going to call. We're going to go way off track. But I cannot understand how you have hundreds of millions of people, probably 1 billion or more Christians, I'm sure, on the planet, that all worship and believe in the same God, believe in the same 10 commandments, that all call the Bible their holy book. But how do you have a God that allows people that worship him or her to pray against each other? You understand that there are people that are praying for our downfall and for our destruction? And you praying to the same God that you want favored. Please reconcile that with me. Actually, don't reconcile it with me because you can't. You can't. That same God that is allowing for intense suffering of children, no less, allows people to suffer and to die and to starve and to not see any justice, but then other people are getting favor from that same God. We are the only people that intensely worship a God that don't even look like us. Look at other nations. Look at other countries. Their deities look like the people. Our deity, or how it has been forced upon us, looks like the oppressor. When you think about it, that's genius. Make them worship someone that looks like the one that is taking everything away. That's game when you think about it. So you almost got to give respect. Let me run through these 14 things one more time. Powerful and continuing expressions of nationalism, disdain for the importance of human rights, identification of enemies/scapegoats as a unifying cause, the supremacy of the military and avid militarism, rampant sexism, a controlled mass media, obsession with national security, religion and ruling elite tied together, power of corporations protected, power of labor suppressed or eliminated, disdain and suppression of intellectuals and the arts, obsession with crime and punishment, rampant cronyism and political corruption, fraudulent elections. You know what that is? Those are the definitions of fascism. And if you see one of those things I just read in your government, you're in a lot of trouble. And if there is someone or something or a political party trying to implement all 14 of those, your democracy is over. And here's the thing. To get these, here's the good news. You don't even have to do anything to receive all of these 14 things I just read. All you got to do is nothing. So what are they doing in regards to this here in the state of Wisconsin? I'd imagine that Wisconsin lawmakers are going to reject these things because this is what fascism is. These 14 points are the definition of fascism. I know we throw that term around a lot, but nobody knows what it is. I just read it. From Madison, a group of Republican lawmakers are proposing to dissolve the state's bipartisan elections commission 5 months before the 2024 presidential election, handing its duties to the Secretary of State's office with oversight by the Republican-controlled state legislature. We have a board of people, retired judges, a nonpartisan group that oversees the implementation of our elections just as it's supposed to be. They're not party affiliated. A lot of them are retired judges and other notable individuals who have had a long life of public service. They're the ones that are overseeing our elections with no partisan intent. They just want it to be fair and equal under the definition by law, right? Well, the Republicans want to get rid of that board, give all the power to the Secretary of State. Let's be clear, the Secretary of State is a partisan office. Now, we're fortunate that we have our very good friend Sarah Godlewski as the Secretary of State right now, okay? But they want to give the power of deciding our elections to Robin Vos and the Republicans in the Wisconsin State Legislature. It doesn't matter how you vote. They are going to determine who gets Wisconsin's electoral votes. Because this so alarmed me, I reached out to our Secretary of State, Sarah Godlewski, and she actually called me back while I was on the air, so I'll call her back later. I want to try and get her on the show because this is how they're going to do what Trump attempted to do in Georgia, but this is the plan to do the same thing in Wisconsin, but do it legally. See, Trump got charged for what he tried to do when he was asking for that 11,780 votes. Believe it or not, that's illegal. You can't call a Republican governor or Secretary of State and said, hey, find me votes I didn't get so I can win a state I didn't win, so I can become the president that I never should have been in the first place. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's actually against the law. There's a lot of laws that say you can't do that. You can't manipulate elections. But when black people do it, it's voter fraud, and they put us in jail, right? The proposal released yesterday requires Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski, a Democrat, to take over election administration duties from the commission by June 30th and bars her from taking any action without the approval of the Republican-controlled legislature. Scott Krug, chairman of the Assembly Elections Committee, said he would consider holding a hearing on the proposal, but had not yet read the legislation as of Monday evening. So I also want you to know, so the 14-point plan that I read, which is the textbook definition of fascism, will mysteriously morph into the political agenda of the entire Republican Party under Donald Trump, who is likely, very likely, not just possible, but the probable nominee for the Republicans. And guess where it's all going to come to a head? Guess where the coronation of fascism is going to be? I've been telling y'all about this for years. It's going to be in Milwaukee. And everybody's excited that the RNC is coming to Milwaukee. Do you understand what they're going to do here? You understand the plan that they're going to implement? And here's the thing. All you have to do is nothing. And they're going to implement this for you. And it's going to happen here. Now, look, I get it. It's great for Milwaukee. We're getting conventions. We're going to get a whole bunch of out-of-towners here. We're going to spend a bunch of money. It's going to be good for the Wisconsin economy, Milwaukee economy. But we are selling our souls for that money because we are going to be the city like Dallas, like Memphis. And I love Memphis, but Memphians, as they affectionately call themselves, they wear this scarlet letter. And those that are from Memphis, born and raised and have been there for a long time, they cannot remove this scarlet letter. It is a permanent tattoo on that city. They're the city that killed Dr. King. Now, it wasn't average, everyday Memphians that did that. Memphians, I got to say it right. My Memphis folks get mad. It wasn't them, but it happened in their city. So when you read the history of where Dr. King was felled, it was there. Recently, it was the 60th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy on November 22nd, I believe. He died in Dallas. Dallas, which is a wonderful city. And some of y'all want to move to Dallas. A lot of y'all glorify moving to Texas. But those Dallas residents wear that scarlet letter of A on their chest as well, like a tattoo that they cannot remove, because that is where a U.S. president was assassinated. Milwaukee will also have a very dubious distinction forever. We will be the city that traded the fundamentals of American democracy for the money that Republicans are going to spend in our city when they have their convention. You know, we've got an ambitious mayor. I'm going to leave the mayor alone. I am. Because he was just handed some things. And you do what you can with what you were handed. And he's running for a full 4-year term. He'll be on the ballot in April. Maybe if there's a primary, he'll be on the ballot in February as well. And so if that accomplishment means you have to support and encourage and welcome the Republican convention to this city so that he can get an accomplishment, so we can highlight how wonderful of a city Milwaukee is, and I guess he does what he has to do. But just know that the price that we will pay for having that convention in this city will be more than any money that this city will make. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Truth Nation is Telly Hughes from Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, and the holiday season is here, and we want to hook you up with a holiday shopping spree. Thanks to our friends at Goody Gourmet, Denise and I will be giving away a $50 gift card every day this week on Truth Be Told. Be sure to tune into the show every day and listen for the cue to call for your chance to win the Goody Gourmet giveaway. Located at 6369 North Green Bay Avenue in Glendale, Goody Gourmet has all of your delicious holiday needs. Visit them in person or online at goodygourmets.com.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Times of transition, whether from a sad event or a joyful one, can leave us feeling adrift. Social connections are an important part of a healthy life. Being isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health. It can lead to high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain connections to people, not just in your family, but others whose relationships bring meaning to your life. Trying a new hobby, volunteering, exercising, even using your phone or other device to stay in touch with others. All these can be great ways to keep up your social connections and your physical and mental well-being. Visit connecttoeffect.org to see if you're at risk of social isolation and find ways to get connected. Presented by AARP Foundation with support from United Healthcare.
Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Alright, y'all.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We have a temporary text line for those of you that want to share your commentary with your thumbs. It's 414-395-0484, 414-395-0484. See what we got. See what y'all talking about. 414349 asks, did they approve the bars in downtown to stay open until 4 a.m.? Actually, they did. And they did one better. They did it back in June. Yep, the Wisconsin Assembly on June 21st passed a sweeping measure that could streamline and update the laws governing the state's liquor industry. Part of the measure would allow bars in 14 southeastern Wisconsin counties to stay open 2 hours longer than the current 2 a.m. limit during the Republican National Convention next summer in Milwaukee. I just want y'all to think about that. 2 more hours of bar time in 14 counties while the Republican Convention is here in our city. What could go wrong with drunk Republicans getting to drink for 2 more hours? I don't think they thought this thing through. But what I also think this is going to do, and this is going to have longer and deeper implications, the bar, like the Tavern League, one of the most powerful lobbies we have in the state. Very powerful lobby. The Tavern League gets what they want. They've got command and control over Republican and some Democratic legislatures in this state, and I ain't mad at them. They represent their industry. You know, the liquor is a big business industry here. In fact, they are probably as powerful, in some cases more powerful than the NRA. And this is a gun state. This is a gun country. Guns are so important in this country. The Second Amendment to the Constitution is the right to keep and bear arms. So the first one is basically you have the right to free speech, so you can say whatever you want to, and that's a good right because that allows me to have a job. In fact, a lot of us here that work in this industry, we're very lucky because we work in an industry that's actually protected by the Constitution. Us as individuals and the license holder of 1017 The Truth, ESPN, Good Karma Brands, and WTMJ. So we've got constitutional protections to our jobs, which is pretty good, actually. So that's the First Amendment. I mean, there's some other stuff in there, too. But the Second Amendment is the right to have a gun. Ain't that crazy? Well, we're going to allow people in this new nation built on slavery to be able to say whatever they want. They're going to have freedom of speech. And then somebody stood up and was like, yeah, they better be able to have a gun, too. Because some people is going to talk crazy, so we got to make sure that everybody has the right to a gun. Think about that. We justified shooting people if we don't like what they say. First Amendment, freedom of speech. Second Amendment, right to bear arms. Quote, a 4 a.m. bar time. I think the economic impact is going to be incredible for everyone. So they're going to have the bars open in 14 Wisconsin counties during the Republican convention during that weekend. Last thing we need is Republicans here and then drunk Republicans, because some of them are going to arrive drunk and just going to be drunk the whole time. But then 2 more hours of bar time? This is not a Republican city. Do y'all know that? I went to the debate. They had a debate at the Fiserv Forum. When was that? August? Me, Kyle, Dr. Ken, we went and covered the debate. And it was a packed house for the Republican candidates at that debate. That's where we saw Ron DeSantis, who's a cyborg. He's not human. He's not real. He's not a real person. He's not. Look at his smiles. He's a fake person. So you know all the conspiracy theories about getting the COVID vaccine of what will happen to you? And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? I think the COVID vaccine is safe, and I think it saved a lot of lives. But I think another reason why so many people were anti-vax is because COVID killed black people. So if you tell black people not to get vaccinated, we will off ourselves. Even the people on Fox News, right? They're, oh, don't get the vaccine. All of them got vaccinated. And guess who outed them? Joe Biden. Because when they went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and of course all the Fox News hosts were there, they had to get vaccinated to get in. Ain't that crazy? Telling their listeners and their viewers not to get vaccinated, and they probably got vaccinated before anybody else in the country. Now some of that information is leaking out, how some individuals got early access to vaccines. Oh, no, that's a whole thing. Pure insanity. So this is not a Republican city. And we're going to have the bars open 2 hours later here, not just in Milwaukee, but in 14 counties. And what that ultimately is going to lead to, and if you're a bar owner, it's probably a good thing because you're going to be able to make more money, is that they're probably going to change the law statewide because the bar owners are going to say, wow, we made a bunch of money in that extra 2 hours that we were able to stay open during the RNC. We want this to be permanent. And the Tavern League will lobby and give campaign contributions to just enough legislatures to where the law will pass. And I can see Tony Evers saying, oh, it'll be good for the economy, and him signing it. It's amazing how a weekend convention can come in and just change laws just so they can drink more. And obviously it's a money play for us. But I think we're going to ultimately regret having that convention here, because if Trump is nominated here and coronated again to implement a 14-point fascist plan, not that y'all care about this, but the place that Milwaukee will have in history, it's already embarrassing. Now, I like Milwaukee now because I can make Milwaukee my own. There's places I can go and things I can do and restaurants I can eat at that I like very much now. But that's because I'm here. I'm from here. I lived here my whole life. I've seen this city evolve and change. I've seen it progress. I've also seen it regress. I don't hate it. I hate what is happening to it. And it's horribly unfortunate. Horribly unfortunate. So we're going to go from being the most segregated city in the country, which we still are. So between us, Chicago, and like Philly, Detroit is actually doing a lot better. Detroit used to be up there on that list as well. I don't think Detroit is in the top 3 or top 4 anymore. But between Milwaukee, Chicago, and Philadelphia, the most segregated cities. And that's not a good thing, just so you know, because it can explain a lot of systemic racism and discrimination. Because if you know where the group is that you hate, and also a part of the 14-point plan is you have to identify enemies and scapegoats as a unifying cause. Do you know how many votes you will get if you say you hate black people? But you can't be explicit. You got to say these welfare queens are taking advantage of the system. Do you know how much power you can get just by hating black folks? It's really, really easy. That's politics 101. Say you hate black people and their lifestyle. Say you hate their culture. Say you hate their music. Call black men thugs. Say we need more law and order. Say we need to build more prisons. You'll win a lot of elections just by saying that. And here's what's crazy. You can win elections by saying that if you're black yourself. We're so easy to hate. I got into it on Facebook this morning. I know I shouldn't have. I fell for it. I shouldn't have fell for it. I know, Rhea. I couldn't help it. You ever see something on Facebook and you're like, no, I can't. No, they didn't say that, did they? No, they didn't. And you read it and you read more comments and people are agreeing with it. And I was just getting incensed. And I don't even know if I want to tell y'all because y'all might come at me. Should I tell them? Now you're saying I should tell them because they're going to come at me. That's why. That's why you're telling me to say it, Rhea. Rhea, why don't you want me to be great? Here's what we do. Not all of us, but enough of us. We glorify the hood. Like you're not proven black. You're not real. You're not authentic unless you represent what white supremacy did to us in our living conditions. Oh, if you ain't hood, you ain't real. Do you know that no other group of people anywhere on the planet want to be represented by what oppression did to their living conditions? Nobody but us. I'm fascinated by that. The Jews are not saying, man, remember when we was in the Polish ghettos? If you ain't Polish ghetto, then you ain't real Jew. They would never. We want to authenticate the worst part of what white supremacy did to us. Segregated us and put us in substandard housing with lead pipes and no education or jobs investment. But look, I get it, right? We don't want to forget where we came from. You don't forget your family. You don't forget your friends. You don't forget the bonds that you formed when you were in the hood. But to represent the hood is doing white supremacy's bidding on their behalf. We got to stop it. Black people are beautiful, smart, intellectual, powerful, resourceful. We're the original people. But we want to represent the worst things that the white folks did to us by creating living conditions that they didn't want to have anything to do with, but they made those living conditions for us. And oh, they came at me when I said what I said. They didn't like that. That's not our identity. That is the identity they want us to have so they can kill us and incarcerate us, because that dehumanizes us. Those aren't real people. Look how they live. Look at the conditions. And the conditions in which we live in part, is because there's been no investment in where we live. And we claim it. We cling to it. We love it. We make music about it. A couple weeks ago, I don't know, maybe it was last week, all these weeks were running together. I talked about our culture in this country was created out of result. Right? We made a way out of no way. The culture of our family. This is why black people embrace other people that aren't our kin as family. Because some time ago, when our families could be legally separated and sold, like, they would take your kids. I mean, they take your kids now. You think the police is a vestige of slavery. So is CPS. And I did a show a couple weeks ago about how much it costs to adopt children. Black kids, obviously, the cheapest to adopt. White children, biracial children, a little bit more expensive. These vestiges of slavery that still live and breathe here. And we just promote it. But our culture is in America, because we don't have a country. Like, we kind of know where we're from a little bit. And some of y'all fell for the okie doke and you got an ancestry test or a 23andMe or those DNA tests. That's dumb. You just gave your DNA, your genetic code, how to reproduce you to a corporation. You're going to regret that. But at least you know where in Senegal your people came from. So our culture here is how we had to make a way out of no way. Weren't considered human. We were property to be tortured, worked to death, raped, stripped of our language, everything. But we found a way, didn't we? But that's our culture. Our culture was created because they didn't allow us to have our own, or we brought our culture here, but they stripped us of it. And here's the best example. We are speaking and corresponding in what language? What language? What language am I? I'm speaking English. English is the white people talk. Hello, hello. Would you like some tea when the crumpets? Hello there. If that is not the best example of how we were stripped of everything, then I don't know what else to tell you. And so Linda had called in. Remember Linda, Miss Shack? She used to call all the time. Now she's mad. Sherwin, how dare you say we don't have a culture? No, we do. But a lot of it was given to us by force. We 100% have a culture. Not only do we have a culture, it's beautiful. So we took the English language. Well, first they forced it on us. And then we took it and we made an art form out of it. It's called hip hop. For probably 2 years running, hip hop music is the most listened to, streamed, and downloaded music on the planet. So no, our culture is real, but you have to look at the origins of it, because we weren't speaking English. They made us speak English. In fact, if you were caught speaking your native African tongue, they would cut your tongue out. That's an incentive to learn English, is it not? And I'm saying all that to say this. I'm tired of us glorifying the hood and using that as a way to authenticate what real blackness is. Because if you have a bunch of people that are proud of the hood and their pride is all in prison, then I'm just saying maybe we should try something different. However, don't nobody listen to old Sherwin. But you are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We've got a new temporary text number. I'm going to read the text message and the YouTube comments on the other side. The number only for this show, don't text this number and expect to get Tory. This is for this show from 9 a.m. until noon. So we get our other text message line back up and running. It is 414-395-0484. 414-395-0484. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey Truth Nation, it's your girl Melanie Ricks from Nothing But The Truth, and I am so happy to let you know the best radio show in Milwaukee is now streaming live on YouTube every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. Yes, your daily power hour of nonstop entertainment is coming at you live on YouTube every weekday. So Truth Nation, make sure you don't miss Benjamin and I give our hot takes or our Freaky Friday story by watching us live on YouTube and subscribing to 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube.
You're listening to Black Chamber Radio. December 8th, 2023, the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce will once again bring to life the Black and Diverse Business Showcase. You should be there. Featuring black and diverse businesses from around the state. You should be there. TWBCC.com to register now. You should be there. Vendors, you should be there. Entrepreneurs, you should be there. Elected officials, you should be there. TWBCC.com to register now.
You should be there.
You will never see black and diverse businesses the same way again. You should be there. Register at TWBCC.com today so you can be there. December 8th, 2023.
You should be there.
You should be there.
Hey, it's Jason Wildig for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
We all want a healthy, thriving community, and we all thrive when we share our time, talent, treasure, and ties. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation is partnering with the community through the Greater Together campaign. Join the foundation in this campaign to advance racial equity through investments in housing, early childhood education, and more. Make an impact today and for generations to come at GreaterMilwaukeeFoundation.org/campaign. Together, we can build a Milwaukee for all.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah. What? Yeah. And what the people say, we wanna live it up. And what the people want, please deliver on. And what the people need, hey. I got that, yeah. I call these rappers baby seals cause they club you to death.
Welcome back. Our temporary text line is 414-395-0484. 414-395-0484. But you still call the old number. Somebody just tried to call this number. I ain't answering my cell phone. Don't do that now. Call 833-212-1017. You can still call that number. Don't call this one. This is just for texting. Have y'all calling me. Give him Rhea's phone number. Rhea, what's your phone number? as a backup. 262 something. I mean, I have it. Right?
You better not do this.
Why not? A lot of people, I'm
Leave
sure,
me
would
out of
love
it.
to talk to you. They'd love to get to know you a little bit. Text you at 4 a.m. and ask you what you're wearing. All right, what is this one here? 414-788 says, you can use your microphone. You don't have to text. Oh, yeah, I guess so. For people that... Because yesterday, the only way you could correspond with the show was on the YouTube comments, which if you're like driving, is difficult to do. But I guess you can use... Most phones have talk to text. Hang on a second. Let's see what we got. Who is this? Guns and liquor are the American way, says 414-788. Yeah, they are. Remember Cops, the TV show Cops, one of the first reality TV shows? We didn't really know it at the time, but that was reality TV. You just put a film crew with some police officers. But the thing I liked about Cops, you guys remember that show used to come on Fox on like Saturday nights? Bad boys, what you gonna do when they come for you? You know the song with the bad boys, the cops. Rhea, are you too young to remember the show Cops? You remember?
I remember it.
They didn't show a lot of black people. It was mostly white people.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciated that. That was intentional. That was when Fox was somewhat decent. Because they could have just showed all black people. And remember, that was in the middle of the war on drugs, when they were busting up urban black communities looking for crack. But they showed a lot of white people, and they were always drunk. And there's a horrible, horrible colloquialism that came from, I think it came from the show Cops. Because like every other scene was a drunk white dude, okay? He's beating people up, beating up his kids, beating up his wife, his Budweiser cans all over the place. They're usually in a trailer. Like, they didn't do a good service for white people, the show Cops, because it just showed a lot of white trash. Be drunk off of Budweiser. And you notice something on the show? And it seemed to be in the South. I don't really see much in the North when it came, because everybody has Southern accents. I ain't hit that woman. She hit me first. He got a can of Budweiser in his hand, wearing a hat, a trucker hat. But in a lot of those episodes, the men were wearing white tank tops. Do you know where I'm going with this? What is a colloquialism for the white tank top? What do people call the white tank top? A wife beater. I know you knew that, Rhea. You've never heard of a white tank top being referred to as a wife beater? You have, right? Isn't that horrible? Because that's what those drunk dudes was wearing on the episode of Cops. They're stained, they're dirty. Just a dirty white tank top. Now we call it a wife beater, because a lot of those episodes, those old drunk men was beating their wives. Because that's what Budweiser does. I don't even know why people still drink Budweiser. In fact, Budweiser is no longer, Anheuser-Busch used to be on top. It used to be ahead of Miller. But they had a transgender spokesperson. This was fairly recently. And the rednecks that drink Budweiser were mad that Budweiser had a transgender spokesperson, and they boycotted it. So Kid Rock and other people, like, they showed scenes of them like shooting cases of Budweiser, like, oh, we're not drinking this woke beer anymore because they had a transgender spokesperson. I think it was a marketing faux pas by Budweiser, because if you know anything about that brand and what it's associated with, transgender people aren't drinking Budweiser. No way. And so they thought they were trying to, maybe capture this moment in American culture where we are being much more open and accepting to different genders. And they got a transgender. I think her name was, I need to find it. Rhea, can you find it before me? The transgender Budweiser person. Let me see. Dylan Mulvaney, who, when I first saw Dylan Mulvaney, I was like, oh, I thought it was a woman, because I seen the commercial. I seen it. I was like, oh. And then it's not. Well, it is, right? Because if you're trans, you're now referred to as what you transitioned 2. Not that I want to speak on behalf of women because I don't like to do that because Barbara Smith gets very mad at me. Barbara Smith said yesterday she is pro-woman and not anti-man. I appreciate that, Barbara, because I love black people. That doesn't mean I hate the white people. White people are fantastic. White supremacy is terrible. You know what I mean? It's when they get drunk on the white supremacy and the Budweiser, then they'll kill you. But if it's just like an isolated white person and you just talk to them, they're so good. They're just fantastic. They eat green bean casserole, and they're just simple people. They're just white folks. They're nice. They wear New Balances. They're cool. Drive Toyota Corollas, even though they're worth $30 million. They're just normal people, just like everybody else. Just normal. And not that I want to speak on behalf of women, because that's not good, because I'm a man and women don't like that. But how do I say this? Man, I'm flirting with trouble by saying this. Okay, so women, don't y'all get just a little bit disturbed? Because women can be unnerved by the simple things that men do, right? Because men are we don't always think. We just do. That's a privilege, though, for men to just think later, like do first and then think. And if we mess up, we just, oh, sorry, I didn't know I couldn't do that. I don't know. Thought I could do it. And then we learn later we can't do and say some of the things we say. But I know some of the smaller things that are innocuous to us can make women really super upset. But don't y'all get a little mad? And I'm not expecting any of you to admit this, that when a man who can make y'all very upset by our ignorance and our just lack of attention to detail and we don't really listen, right? It makes you guys upset with us. And I get it. I'd be upset with us too. But don't you get real mad when a man then becomes a prettier woman than a woman? I think it was 2018. What's the one where it's women from all over the world? The pageant. Miss Universe, right? They still do those? Those are objectifying women.
No.
You don't think it objectifies women?
I just watched it.
Did they have a swimsuit competition? That's my favorite part.
It was more like a costume competition for Miss Universe. So you go through and do this costume with that represents your country.
And are some of those costumes, some of them are very elaborate. I'd imagine others are very scantily clad.
Nope, they all had wings or a harness of some kind or a platform like
a bunch of Victoria's Secret's angels. No,
Nope.
No, it was not. It was more classy.
Yes.
There was no swimsuit competition?
There might have been. I only watched the 3-hour costume.
You know there was. You know it. But
But all those got canceled.
It almost got canceled.
The swimsuit portion and a lot of the pageants have been removed.
It shouldn't, because if a woman works on her body as a part of her job and making her living, then why not show it off? There's nothing wrong with showing off what you got now. Why do we make that bad? Strut that stuff. Men just got to be respectful about, and it ain't just men. It's other women that sometimes are more disrespectful when it comes to a woman's scantily clad body. Some studs are tough, Rhea. They are. I mean, if given the choice of fighting a biological man and a stud, I'd kick a stud's ass. What?
Sherwin.
What? I'm not. Rhea, we're talking about a fictional scenario. People want to fight me sometimes. They do. Just like I said, if there was a kid that knew karate, you ever see these 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids? They're going for their purple belt, their yellow belt, their brown belt, and their black belt. And they're very good at karate, but at the same time, they're a kid. I don't care how much karate a 7-year-old knows. I'd punch him square in his 7-year-old jaw. But see, some 70-year-olds get bold. I know karate. I was like, come on then. Come on. Oh, watch this. A roundhouse kick. I'd grab his little 7-year-old leg and I'd snap it. Self-defense. Stand your ground. What, I can't defend myself? If this kid knows is a black belt in karate, I potentially could be the victim.
He wanted to show you his karate skills.
No, he wanted to fight me because I'm talking to his mama.
Oh.
See there? Now, it changes the tune, doesn't it? Studs, I'm kidding. I'm not going to fight you guys because if y'all gang up, I'm in trouble. All of a sudden, it's like this cavalcade of Lincolns and Cadillacs are following me around the city as a crew of. You guys know I'm kidding. Everybody calm down. That's your problem. You're over here getting mad at me, and your country's about to descend into fascism, and y'all want to get mad at me. Y'all need to relax. I think sometimes y'all forget who you're listening to. It was 2018 where now they didn't win the overall Miss Universe pageant. And I'm only saying this for educational purposes. I don't have an agenda either way. I don't think there's some conspiracy to make everybody gay. I really don't believe that. If you can be gay, if you can get gayed, what's the verb? Gaying. If you can gay somebody by showing them images of same-sex couples that are in loving relationships, if that can make you gay, then you were already gay. Right? Thank you, Rhea, for agreeing. Because I don't think you can't show me two men kissing and then me at 48 years old, I'm like, a mustache rubbing on my face. No, that's not.
You'd be surprised.
No, I would not. Men are disgusting. I mean, not me, but just in general, we're just horrible. Yeah, come here, Sherwin. Here, I'm gonna come here, give me some sugar. No, thank you, mister. No, thanks. Okay. So in 2018, what day of the week is today? It's only Tuesday. We got a bunch of days left in this week. In 2018, the Spanish, because the Miss Universe pageant, there's a woman that wins all the local pageants and then a statewide or a national pageant to represent their country, okay? It's a process. In 2018, the representative of the country of Spain was a transgender woman. If I'm not mistaken, it was the first time that had ever happened. And it probably shows the openness and the progressive nature of the Miss Universe pageant. And so I talked about it at the time it happened. I was on the air. And I just tried to be very factual about it because it was a history-making endeavor. So, of course, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to shy away from a topic because it may be offensive. But I put a question out into the universe. And I was like, isn't that offensive to women who work in the beauty industry and they make their living off of pageantry and they've won pageants in the past? And now they have to compete against a transgender woman. And I don't even know if I got an answer because I think that some cisgender heterosexual women are afraid to speak their minds. If anything, I think a lot of women, not all, are very politically correct and like, no, we welcome trans women as women. But if you work in an industry in which women absolutely unequivocally dominate, get scholarships, make money, a lot of these pageant winners, they have like a social cause that bring a lot of attention and awareness to because they win this beauty pageant, which is actually pretty cool because like you're selected because of your beauty, your skill set, your talent, your academic history. But then you can take that fame and then give more attention to an issue or a cause, that is near and dear to you. But I just wondered, would that upset women who dedicate their lives to being in pageants so they can win, make the money, get the scholarships, and then bring awareness to their particular causes? So that's all I'm saying. I'm not passing judgment either way. So that is the story of why a white tank top is called a wife beater. You don't think that's why, Rhea? I totally think that's why. So my mother, always, because they're white T-shirts. If you have a black one or a blue one or a yellow one, that's not a wife beater. A wife beater is a white undershirt, a tank top style undershirt that men or I suppose women can wear. And so my mother, God bless her, she always thought they were called white beaters because they're white. And I said, Ma, you're saying it wrong. I said, what do you mean I'm saying it wrong? It's not a white beater. She's like, well, what color is it? I'm like, no, it's white. But it's actually called a wife beater. She got very upset. I was like, Emma, I am here to tell you the truth. You mean to tell me that y'all been calling these wife beaters? I was like, yeah, so you better be careful, woman. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. I didn't say that to her. But I corrected her because y'all know, and I'm not just making that up. A lot of y'all still to this day refer to a white tank top undershirt as a wife beater, and I'm giving you my sentiments on where I think it came from. I probably should take a break, regroup a little bit, read some text messages coming in at our temporary text number. Now, remember, this text number, it ain't for calling. If you want to call, it's 833-212-1017. That number ain't changed. But because we are transitioning to a new text messaging service, if you want to text this show, only from 9 a.m. until noon, y'all text me trying to reach Melanie or Tori or Dr. Ken, I'm going to respond by cussing. So don't text them or text me expecting to get them. It's 414-395-0484, 414-395-0484. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
And what are some of the ways that you're inspiring people? Because, one of the biggest opportunities, in particular in the African-American community, is access, exposure, and awareness.
For Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin, we've been here 76 years.
Wow.
And our mantra is saving the lives you love. So if someone you love needs a blood transfusion and they're in any hospital in Southeast Wisconsin here, that blood's coming from us. And so we're trying to make sure that we're communicating that, because I think folks maybe don't understand that blood can't be manufactured. And summers are always tough because schools are out and we collect about 20 to 25% of our blood from schools. Mm-hmm. So it's always a day-to-day struggle. We say that the blood that's on the shelves is the blood that saves lives. And a lot of times people are compelled to donate when something bad happens. And our mission and our job is to educate folks so that we can get ahead of the curve and keep 3 days of inventory on the shelves. Mm-hmm. So we're in a decent spot right now, but we're on the streets every day trying to inspire people to join our mission. One of our big projects that we're proud of is Versity on King, which is part of the Thrive on collaboration in the Gimbel Schuster building on Martin Luther King Drive. And next year, we're going to open a destination center there. It'll be a blood donation center, but it'll be more than that, because we've realized that we can't be transactional with our relationships in the Black community. We need to do things that are intentional and that show that we're there to stay. But the reason that we're there is because not enough people that look like us donate. And so for disorders like sickle cell disease that disproportionately affect us, the race can matter. And I like to say that, Black folks have a superpower in their blood. 44% of Black blood donors will have this rare trait that makes their blood more likely to be able to be a match for a sickle cell patient. And that 44%, that is way higher than what we would find in other races.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
For the brave men and women of our United States military, it's been said, some gave all, but all gave some. Here at Tabak Law, we honor these sacrifices by working to ensure veterans receive the benefits they're entitled to. I'm Jim Brzezinski, partner and VA-accredited representative at Tabak Law. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied or feel that your condition was not properly evaluated by the VA, visit tabakattorneys.com to set up a free evaluation. At Tabak Law, we fight for those who fought for us. Contact Tabak for the payback. tabakattorneys.com.
Picture yourself feeling confident, refreshed, and beautiful. Well, that's exactly what you get at Elevate & Co. in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. This is 1017 The Truth's Melanie Ricks, and my friend Elizabeth and her team of highly skilled aesthetic providers at Elevate & Co. specialize in aesthetic injectables such as Botox and filler, and provide medical-grade skincare treatments. Get your natural beauty journey started today by visiting elevateandcomke.com. That's elevateandcomke.com. Book your free consultation today.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You guys stay tuned, because we're going to give you another opportunity to be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. So we're going to do that. I don't know. When should we do it, Rhea? Soon-ish. I usually catch you slipping. You don't be ready. I'll be ready to give away that money. $5,000. There's been some interesting winners, actually. I remember the first lady that won the 5Gs, because we used to do $101.70 every day. That was before you got here. It was too much. This paperwork. And is stuff you got to, y'all wasn't filling out the stuff. Like, we would ask for your email address because we got to email you stuff. And then y'all would give us like dummy email addresses, and then you wouldn't get your money. You get mad at me. Y'all would call the show asking me where your money was at. You do not want to deprive black people of their money because they will come hunting. You hear me? Sherwin, you know I'm going to catch you slipping and you don't get my $101.70. And I want the 70 cents too. All right. I got to read a bunch of messages. Curly Q asked if the phone line is back up. Yes, it is, Curly Q. In fact, Rob is on the line right now. I'll talk to him in a second. Creation Muse says the Dems need a real spokesperson as soon as possible. Creation Muse then says if they want to stand a chance at winning, there's not a Democrat we'd all agree on. I think Gavin Newsom is the one. I think so. Y'all going to disagree. Some of y'all going to disagree with who I think is a good unifying candidate because I said it. Because that's how ornery some of y'all are. Oh, Sherwin said it. I'm just going to hate it because Sherwin said it. Zuri Tribe says, wait, who said they voting for Joe Brown? Not the judge. Well, you ain't nothing but a deadbeat no-how. Woman, why was you even messing with that man in the first place? Joe Brown would be a terrible president. He would just yell at everybody. Zuri Tribe says, that sucks to hear, Sherwin, but I vote us every time. Sherwin, most people know their history. We glorify what we know. Creation Muse says he controls the industry. He controls the narrative for a group. Zuri Tribe says to Creation Muse, very true. And sadly, all the industries are controlled by them. Bree Nicole chimed in and said, straight facts. Bree Nicole says, first time listener, a conversation between you and Dr. Umar would be legendary. Do y'all have any idea how many times I interviewed and talked to Dr. Umar? When I was over at WNOV, because he used to come to Milwaukee a lot. You couldn't keep Dr. Umar out of Milwaukee. I got pictures with him. Oh, yeah, Dr. Umar, I probably have, oh, my goodness, a half dozen or more interviews with him that I did in the 6 years that I was at WNOV. Probably more than that. I used to promote his visits. But then, Dr. Umar got weird. He got real super anti-vax. He still makes some decent points, but I don't trust him on, like, medical science. He's too conspiracy theory. For me, he is. And a whole bunch of stuff came out about him. I didn't know all that stuff at the time, so I kind of shied away from him. Every now and again, I'll play something of his that's relevant. But I got a whole archive of interviews I did with Dr. Umar. In fact, I used to do 3-hour shows with Dr. Umar. He's a fascinating man. But that was 9-10 years ago. Let's talk to Rob. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sherwin. How are you doing? I don't know. Should I call you Dr. Sherwin or Sherwin?
Sherwin is fine, sir. Thank you.
Oh, Sherwin, hey, how you doing? So, yeah, I just want to say I'm not sure where that whole theory came in calling the white tank tops wife beaters, but I'm pretty sure that it's only called wife beaters in poor communities. I have, point example, 2 movies that I can recall and name that says that it stemmed from that problem. Not stemmed from that, but it shows that the typical black and brown communities call it that. You have drunk and high males beating on their girlfriends or wives. And you can look at La Bamba and Baby Boy, for example. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. And he hung up. All right. Why do we call it a wife beater shirt? The term wife beater reportedly became synonymous for an undershirt after a 1947 criminal case where a Detroit man was arrested for beating his wife to death. And newspapers printed a photo of the wife beater wearing a stained undershirt. All right. Same logic that I was using. I just used something a generation later. They say 1947. I said an episode of Cops probably from 1987. I'm going to get back to the YouTube messages in a second, but somebody, I don't want to scroll up because if I scroll up, I'll lose my place. But somebody was unaware or did not remember that the show Cops, the reality TV show Cops, aired on Fox. And I said, that was back when Fox was decent. You know what else aired on Fox at the time? In Living Color. That is classic sketch comedy. You know how many careers were made from In Living Color? the Wayans brothers, Tommy Davidson, Jim Carrey. He was like the only white dude on In Living Color. Jim Carrey, I don't know if y'all know, Jim Carrey's been down for a while. He has. He got his chance as a white comedian on a black stand-up comedy, sketch comedy show. In Living Color defined the culture. It did. Now, it was also very politically incorrect. You guys remember skits like Men on Film? Remember the superhero character they had on In Living Color called Handyman? Can't do that stuff nowadays. Let me tell you why I love our generation. Generation X is just, we're something different. We're special. And here's the thing about us. We don't care what you think at all. We don't care. Our world was so different. We would disappear from home. There was no cell phones. There was no cameras. We would leave the house and our parents would wonder if they would ever see us again. And we would just roam the streets until the streetlights came on, of course, and then you had to be home. You had to stop roaming. Just packs of children just roaming freely. We did whatever we wanted to do with no supervision. And through that came a different kind of culture amongst our generation because we were the first generation. So 2 things about us. We're the smallest generation population-wise. I'm going to explain that in a moment. But we were also the first generation where the majority of mothers had to work. The prior generation, it was possible for just the man to go and work and earn enough money at a brewery, at a plant, at an assembly line, at a manufacturing company where he made enough money to afford a decent living and middle-class lifestyle for his family. By the time we transitioned into the 70s and all that deindustrialization, women had to go to work. We needed 2 incomes for families to even break even. You know what I mean? So our parents were working. We were the latchkey kids. I did a question on the Facebook, asked y'all when you first got a key to your house, because we got home from school, wasn't nobody there. Some of y'all got keys to the house at 5 and 6 years old. I was 10 years old when I got a key. And I loved it. I love coming home to an empty house. Now, y'all remember what the rules were. Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. But what do? Answer the phone and open the door. Because you didn't want, because back, like kids used to get stolen. Remember when kids would get abducted? It was real hard to find a stolen kid back in the day because there wasn't no Amber Alerts. All sorts of kids used to get just stolen. And then we used to fall in wells. Y'all remember baby Jessica? She fell in a well. We used to do all sorts of stuff. We're a tough group. And we're politically incorrect. And we don't care how you feel. I know we should care. I know we're supposed to be sensitive to the things and non-insensitive. We're trying. We're getting old now, too. But we're the smallest generation because we were born after the invention of the birth control pill. So where in the hell does a whole generation come from when the birth control pill is invented? So most of us weren't probably even wanted. Mamas didn't know how to take the pill right. They didn't know if you miss a day, you got to take 2 the next day, and we came out of nowhere. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee, it's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes from Truth Be Told on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
We want to make sure you join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. for our Black Friday shout-out powered by We Energies.
Black Friday is your opportunity to call into 1017 The Truth and shout out your black-owned business and let Milwaukee know what you have to offer.
So hit us up every Friday at 8 a.m. to shout out your black-owned business on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
Okay, Fred, so I got some questions.
What's up?
Where should I go if I want to start my own business?
You go to EerieInsurance.com.
Okay, Fred, so where should I go if my kid needs an internship or if I need a job? Where do I go?
You go to EerieInsurance.com.
Okay, so what if I want to work for a company that believes in diversity, has great benefits, and growth for people like us?
You already know. It's EerieInsurance.com.
Man, so Fred, I just need to go to Erie Insurance?
Go to EerieInsurance.com for all that you need.
It's amazing!
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
I'm tired. I'm tired of watching this city fall apart and have leaders who will not say why. What is the issue with saying what the issue is? I have 5 things that need to be addressed in the black community to mitigate, to stop crime, period. Hands down, full stop. Number 1, when your kid does something wrong, they need to be held accountable. If it's a smack on the wrist for something they did that was little, that's fine. Otherwise, they need to be held accountable. Number 2, parents, you need to take care of and raise your kids. It is not the job of the police, the fire department, the school, or anybody else to raise the kid that you decided to have. It's on you. For those kids that have now come into adulthood, go to college for at least an associate's degree in a trade. That way you can either start your own business or get a good job. Number 2, when you graduate from high school with at least a 2.5 grade point average or higher. And then finally, probably the number 1 thing that everybody needs to think about, and whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant, it's my truth take. If you disagree, God bless you. But the bottom line is, wait to get married before you have children. Why? Because the responsibility of raising them is on you.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Zuri Tribe says, no, Sherwin and Umar would be crazy. LOL, Sherwin is amazing, though. Thank you, Zuri. Tory Lowe, he's the person that has the conversations with Dr. Umar. Tory's talked to Dr. Umar a couple of times. For me, it's like Tory is certainly coming into his own as a host, right? Everybody is. I just been doing this for such a long time that I got a different approach. You got to find your thing. You know what I mean? And so long time ago when I was trying to find my thing, Dr. Umar is a really enticing person to talk to, especially when I was at WNOV, when we still had 2 black radio stations. Well, we do now. WNOV is still there. But when we had WMCS and WNOV. So if y'all don't know, WMCS 1290, which was a black radio station for like 30 years, was like the 5th most listened to black talk radio station in the nation. So between Eric Vaughn and Earl Ingram, when nationally syndicated hosts would need a fill-in, they would get somebody from WNOV. A guy named Warren Ballantyne, Earl Ingram used to fill in for him all the time. So 1290 was very, very highly listened to. But 1290 that was like the station for the bougie blacks. WNOV, a little bit less so, right? That's how it was when I arrived. In fact, there is a promo that we play where a caller is talking to Denise Thomas. Some of y'all may have heard it, and the caller is like, y'all shouldn't be called the truth. Y'all should be called the butt naked truth. And Denise is laughing. I think Telly is laughing too. Like, oh my God, that's so funny. We should call ourselves that. That was something that came from when Mike McGee Sr., Commander McGee, had a show called The Word Warriors on WNOV, like in the 90s. So that's not a new term, talking about the butt naked truth. So there's a beautiful history of black talk radio in the city. But, back in the day when I was trying to find my way, talking to Dr. Umar was exciting, because the perspective that he had on blackness versus white supremacy was, quite honestly, it was brilliant, especially somebody that was trying to find compelling topics every single day doing radio. Now, Dr. Umar was also trying to raise money for a school. And so when he would come to Milwaukee, it was never without an ask. When he was on the radio with me, it was never without an ask, and it was fine because we believed in Dr. Umar and we trusted him. And we wanted him to have this school for black boys. He even had a campus he was going to buy. He told us how much money he needed. Well, that was a really long time ago. And he's raised a sizable amount of money. I don't know how much he raised, but originally he wanted $250,000. He raised that and then some, but he never bought the school. And I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. When you ask our people for money and you interest us and you excite us and you entice us and then you ask for money, okay, cool, we'll give you the money. Black folks got money. I don't know if y'all know this. We got money. Sometimes we get money and we don't even know what to do with it. We all of a sudden like lamb chops out of nowhere. 10 years ago, y'all weren't eating lamb chops. What else? We crab boils. We love crab boils. We wasn't eating no crab boils. That's because we got money. We don't know what to do with it. Let's eat some lamb chops and crab boils. So we gave Dr. Umar a bunch of money. He was going to build a school. And he never built the school, and I didn't like that. And so from that point forward, I saw him differently. And then his anti-vaxxer sentiment. And Kiana, I need to have a conversation with you. I told people in the Hughes Views Facebook group, which is the Facebook group that corresponds with this show, I told people to get your flu shot. And then Kiana went full anti-vaxxer on telling people not to get the flu. Don't do that. That stuff kills black people first and foremost. Please get a flu shot and whatever other shots you need to get as well. Take a break. We're going to come back for hour 3. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
Truth Nation is Telly Hughes from Truth Be Told with DT and Telly, and the holiday season is here, and we want to hook you up with a holiday shopping spree. Thanks to our friends at Goody Gourmet, Denise and I will be giving away a $50 gift card every day this week on Truth Be Told. Be sure to tune into the show every day and listen for the cue to call for your chance to win the Goody Gourmet giveaway. Located at 6369 North Green Bay Avenue in Glendale, Goody Gourmet has all of your delicious holiday needs. Visit them in person or online at goodygourmets.com.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to sleep at night, or a warm meal to eat, or whether anyone cares about them.
But the reality is, 1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
But the good news is, there's an organization making a big difference. Covenant House.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis and giving them the support and the tools they need to succeed in life.
I have no words to express how Covenant House changed my life. They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, and love, most of all love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges, and their lives are transformed.
Covenant House is changing the lives of young people in cities across America.
To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today. Thank you for caring.
Join the movement. Listen to the Tori Lowe Show on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let me tell you a little story about a heartbreaker.
Welcome to Hour 3 with me, Sherwin Hughes. Kiana says, my husband told me to tell you this. The worst thing out of all the things that has been done to us blacks was they disunited us. Ain't that crazy that they have the power to disunite us? Huh. That's something we have control over. But we also like and appreciate our individuality. Like, you're an individual. Nobody can tell you what to do. You're living your best life. You do what is right for you, what is right for your family, right? You're on your own path. And I'm not saying that's bad. In fact, I love it. I love black individuality. It's fantastic. It's creative. It's innovative. It gets mimicked, copied, mocked. All of us are black individuals, right? We don't define black one way. That's why I don't like our warm sentiments toward the hood. Like, the hood was created for us to fail in. And now you're not authentically black if you're hood. Why are so many people trying to get out of it? Ain't nobody moving into the hood except for white people. It ain't the hood when they get there. They kick us out. Kiana says, that person won the pageant because the backlash from choosing them would have been easier to deal with than not. They didn't win the whole Miss Universe pageant. They just won Miss Spain. Is it a compliment to say that a transgender person looks like the gender they're transitioning to? Because Miss Spain at the time looked like she's a lady. But I don't, because if the person is trans, I know it's like history making, whatever. But that's like an asterisk by their name. Just let her be a woman and just fool everybody. It's not about fooling. I don't know. I'm it's nervous for me. Nervous territory, because remember, I'm Generation X. We dealt with homophobia differently. We were homophobic. We also grew up with the scourge of HIV/AIDS, which we just thought was going to kill everybody. So we demonized anything that we could stereotype, including black people, when it came to HIV/AIDS. Like, they really did a number on us. So the stereotypes of HIV/AIDS, it was the 1994 crime bill, which I don't want to say that was entirely a racist concept, because black people wanted something done. And we have perfected how to punish. Black people can punish and admonish better than anybody else. Our friends, our family, people we hate, anybody we have a beef with. Like, if we are mad at you and we're a rapper, we'll make a diss record and it'll be really mean, and then somebody will kill us. Like, we have perfected punishment. So when it comes to incarceration and 3 strikes laws, like, I need y'all to know that we as black people wanted that 1994 crime bill. We wanted it to go as far as it possibly could, because if you were working hard, you had 2 jobs, or you had a family, you raising kids in South Central Los Angeles or Chicago or Milwaukee in New York, you were afraid of gang violence. You were afraid of the territory wars that existed because people wanted to be able to sell controlled substances in a geographic area. And if you lived in that area, and if your children walked to school in that area, and if you waited on the bus in that area, you ran the risk of being shot in territory wars to sell crack, because geography was money back then. The more area that you have and can control, the more money you can make. And if somebody is selling product in your area, they're taking money out of your pocket. A lot of families didn't want that. They wanted the streets cleaned up. Now, when black people decide that we want to be law and order and we want criminals to be punished, There's a system that exists in America that is willing to oblige us every time. Oh, they love it when we talk law and order. Now we talk more rehabilitation. Some people can't be rehabilitated. I need you to know that. The most violent offenders, we can't do anything with them. Now, there's some people we can help if we intervene early enough, and Dr. Ken has a truth take talking about when we're supposed to intervene. But some people are beyond reproach, and there's nothing we can do about them. You understand? Sometimes other people's children are a menace to society. How much money are we going to try and spend to rehabilitate the unrehabable? Now, I'm not really a death penalty person either, because I don't like it, because it's unfair. I don't like it. But I'll use the example of a dwelling, of a house. Some houses are beautiful, but they've been sitting very long, neglected. They haven't been maintained properly. But with tender loving care and investment, a little elbow grease, get you a few contractors, that house can be returned to its glory and its splendor. It can even be better than it was when it was originally built. And Milwaukee is a place that really showcases Victorian style houses and real estate. Ooh, we got some beautiful houses in this city. Some of them can be and have been restored, and they're illustrious, aren't they? Some houses you got to tear down. You got to tear them down. You can't rehab them. There's not enough structure left that you can save. And I'm not going to liken a human being to a structure, but we are kind of like structures. Some of us can be rehabilitated. Some of us can't. I don't want us to kill people. I don't like that. That's not nice to kill people, because that doesn't really solve anything. And as long as we have the criminal justice system that we have, where you still have innocent people in prison, like every day I'm hearing about the Innocence Project, and I get mad when I hear it, but I'm thankful these people are getting out of jail. The Innocence Project, like, oh, we just freed somebody who's been serving 40 years on a crime they didn't commit. You know how mad I would be if I went to jail at 8 and I got out today? If I went to jail in 1980, how old was I? What year was it when I was 8? 83. And I got out today, and it's internet and YouTube and OnlyFans, I wouldn't even know what was going on. Cell phones, Google, artificial intelligence, electric cars. Remember, imagine someone that served 40 years and they didn't commit the crime. They're going to be institutionalized. Now, I think we passed a law in Wisconsin where if somebody was convicted of a crime they didn't commit and they get free, like they get another trial, and the Innocence Project comes in and presents different evidence. Because now we got DNA evidence and it can free people. They give you like $20,000 or something. You know how mad I would be. I mean, what do you even do? If you're in the joint and you're innocent now, I guess if you're guilty too, and if you served your time, you come out 40 years later. But you know what? Some of them prisoners be FaceTiming in jail. Y'all know that? There's cell phones in jail. The guards are something else. You know, the guards are as corrupt, more corrupt in some cases as the inmates. An inmate will tell you, you can get just about anything you can get on the street in the joint. Seriously. There's ways that stuff gets snuck in. Depending upon what it is, I wouldn't want to consume it, because the way things get snuck into prison is not ideal. You know what I mean? But what happened though, it was a story not too long ago. I didn't talk about it though. It's a female guard that fell in love with an inmate, and she bring them all sorts of stuff because they was in love. That's game. If you are a prison guard and you can be gamed to where an inmate makes you fall in love with them, and now you bring in the inmate all sorts of stuff, and it's usually a male inmate and a female guard, and she's bringing them cigarettes, cell phones, vagina. Seriously, like that's the thing, because it's all sorts of stuff in prison. There is an industry selling contraband and drugs in prison. People die of heroin overdoses and fentanyl overdoses in prison. It's crazy, right? Let's talk to Al. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to say good morning. I know with the RNC, the first thing I wanted to say is all money ain't good money. So if they tear the city down or something bad happen, that should be on Cavalier Johnson. Throw him right up under the bus. Now, if I'm not mistaken with Donald Trump, has he been diagnosed with dementia? Has he been diagnosed with that?
And if he was, we wouldn't know about it.
Okay, because see, if he was diagnosed with that, he's not even medical fit to be in that position because the brain deteriorates over time. Sooner or later, he will be a vegetable. So that's a liability. So if they, was trying to push that, somebody need to challenge that. And then I know one of the things was you brought up religion. And religion can always be challenged in so many ways, and I hope you religious people was over listening. How can you sit here and say, love thy neighbor, but you going to endorse and command genocide? So you're going to say, love thy neighbor, but you going to command genocide. So you can't do that because if you command genocide, that was never your neighbor. See, that's a contradiction. And then on that within the same breath, you got all this power to kick everybody out of heaven, but you don't got no power to stop people from suffering for 400 years. Okay? In order for me to be good to you and to get your love, I have to be a slave. So that says that everything about this entity is conditional and is very hypocritical, which makes this entity a fraud. That's why some people don't F with that entity. So when it comes to religion, that always could be challenged because it's already been proven. Nobody in that Bible, they can't tell you where none of them been buried. How is it that every time in order for somebody to have something great, they got to be black, they got to be struggling, they got to be broke, and all the things you want, the one divine favor that you did righteously on earth, you didn't even get. So what it is something that's gaslighted black people to be in a state of mind out of fear. So if people really wanted to challenge all that religion until you faith believers do you, I don't F with it. All you have to do is challenge it because every individual sin every day. So I guess nobody's going to heaven. So that's all I just wanted to share is just challenge that because there's so many contradictions up in here. And we all know what a lot of Christians, they're hypocrites. And one more thing, well, back in the 60s and 70s, lesbianism was a fetish. And a lot of those farmers and men were paid to watch. They never talk about that. And if you wanted to talk to Republicans, ask them about dope dates or talk to some of these counselors about dope dates because when it comes to dope dates, they will lick, suck, and do everything for that high. And I want to just leave y'all with that. That's our homework. Come and challenge that. I want y'all to have a happy Tuesday, and thank you for giving me this time. Take care.
All right, Al. Thank you. That was insightful. So you guys know what dope dating is. That's an extension of addiction, which we shouldn't joke about. Here's something else we shouldn't joke about.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all. That's right. Now is your chance to be entered our One Call, That's All giveaway for $5,000. Call 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. We'll take call number 6, and you'll be entered to win $5,000, courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, call Gruber Law Offices now. One call, that's all. Call number 6 gets a chance to win $5,000 from the Gruber One Call, That's All 5K giveaway. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com, 833-212-1017. Call number 6 gets entered to win 5 Gs. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube every day from 1 to 4. I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
Who are we? We are the ones who learn to do what we love. We're the ones who want to work, who want to learn from firsthand experience, to earn an income, who don't need to spend 4 years in lecture halls. We're the healthcare, construction and utility workers, manufacturers, agriculturists, and service and IT professionals. We are Wisconsin Apprentices. Learn more at wisconsinapprenticeship.org. Brought to you by the Department of Workforce Development.
All insurance companies, they want to know where are your cars housed.
Right.
They want to know how far are you driving to get to and from work every day.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know all these different things for weather patterns. Are you living in northern Wisconsin, or are you living down in Tornado Alley somewhere in Kentucky? These things make a difference as to how your insurance rates are formed. I need you to be factual, and every single time somebody commits these different frauds, it all adds up, and everybody ends up paying the price for it down the road.
Erie Insurance, providing the protection you need and the service you expect, all at a great price.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a job? Direct Connect MKE is a social media style platform that empowers you to grow your social network, find career opportunities, and connect with career specialists for success. Visit joindcmke.com today to learn how you can create a profile, upload your resume, and find access to information about jobs, job training, hiring events, and more. DCMKE is locally focused and equips you to grow your social capital and find opportunities that match your career interests. Visit joindcmke.com today and connect your dream to reality.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
That's why I applaud you and your show, man, and speaking the truth to some of these people that need the truth.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017.
You're on the new 1017 The Truth. How you doing, Maurice?
I'm doing very well, brother. I appreciate you having me on your show, man. I appreciate the show itself.
Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
This is 1017 The Truth's Tory Lowe, and the time is now, Milwaukee. I believe the people who listen to the Tory Lowe Show are ready for real change in the community and love to bring all the smoke. Tap in, Truth Nation, to the Tory Lowe Show every day from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. The movement continues. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome back. Who got the chance to be entered in 5Gs, Rhea? Congratulations to a man named Ronald. He's gonna maybe win $5,000. Can I ask about the last giveaway? Because somebody won it, and they're supposed to come and get on the air with me, and we take pictures with a big ass check, that big ass game show check we have. I can't hear you, Rhea. Okay. So we have this, it's gigantic. You know, when people win money on a game show, they get that big ass check. It's huge. It's not a real check, but it's real big. And so we had it in the studio. And of course, David Gruber, he signed it, right? And then it was made out to the woman who won. This was the last time we had a winner on my show. It's been a minute. It's been a year probably. Because I think each show has a winner once a year. So the last person, which is a very nice lady, she's going to use the money as a down payment on a house, which we like. And so, of course, she didn't take the big-ass check. That's our prop. But the check just stayed in the studio for like another 6 months. Just stayed in here. And it's like, it's dry erase board material, so, you know, we can erase David Gruber's signature. So for the next person, he would just sign it again. We erase the person's name that won, and, you know, we put the new winner's name on it. I wonder, because it had like a real set of check numbers, and I wonder if I could have taken that big ass check, cashed it, walking out of the studio with a 5.5 foot by 3 foot check. I'd probably get fired for that. All right, 414875 says, thanks for giving credit to Commander McGee for the butt naked truth, and let's not forget Pei singing happy birthday to listeners. That show was an institution. It was before my time, but to be a part of the long legacy and activism of Black Talk Radio in the city has been, it's been a dream come true. You know, the people I've met, the conversations we've had, the way we've been able to move the needle forward, the way we've been able to reignite and excite unity amongst our people has been, I can't even compare it to anything. It's been fantastic. Earlier, I got a text message that says what they did to us, the worst thing they did to us was they disunified us. But there's still ways in which we do show unity. But I also have to say, within all of our individualism, there's no power as an individual. Very little, unless you're Elon Musk rich. As individuals, there is no power. The power only lies within people coming together. And that's difficult because we have to come together with people that we don't know, we don't like, and we disagree with. But we got to find some kind of common ground so that we can get a taste of that power. As individuals, we can very easily be roiled. But as a cohesive unit working together on a common cause, we are literally unstoppable. And so with Black people, in the event that we do come together, and we do, and I can give you some specifics as to when we come together, we move mountains. And they don't like that. They don't like when we move mountains because we're not moving their mountain, we're moving our own mountain. But I'll give you one example. There are others. We vote for Democrats. 90% of us vote for Democrats. Now, some of you may think that's stupid because we don't get anything. Democrats don't give us the reparations money. The Democrats don't change stuff for Black people. Whether they do or whether they don't, we got to use that as an example of all of us coming together. Now, some of you have lost your desire to vote for Democrats and you want to vote for independent candidates and third-party candidates. Now, imagine this. I would argue that Joe Biden getting elected in 2020 is better than Donald Trump getting reelected in 2020. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm the only one that shares it. According to the polls, I am the only one that shares it. That's fine. I'll be an individual in that regard. But if all of us who 90+%, when it comes to Black women, sometimes like 98%, that all vote for Democrats decide that we don't want to come together, that we want to vote individually for individual third, fourth, fifth party candidates, write-in candidates, then nobody gets elected that can represent us. You understand that? If we all vote individually for different people and different parties and do different write-ins, then we don't get a candidate. Individually, you're not going to elect a candidate because you wrote somebody in. And I know that we don't like to be faced with this because in life, we have unlimited choices. You can use the TikTok and the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram. You can have Coke or Pepsi or cocaine or marijuana. You can even have your selection of mate. We got choices when it comes to everything. What kind of shirt you're going to wear, kind of shoes you're going to wear, kind of pants you're going to wear, kind of school you're going to go to, kind of school you're going to send your kids to, what kind of neighborhood you're going to live in. You're going to rent, you're going to lease, you're going to own, you're going to buy, you're going to sell. We have choices. But when it comes to politics right now, you got two. You can pretend you got more. You got choices everywhere else in your life. But when it comes to where we are in this moment, you got two. I remember back when Black people had no choices. Remember that? We didn't like that at all. We would have loved to have had two choices back in the day. Now we have two choices and it's painful. I don't care how you feel about Joe Biden. There is an institution that is worth protecting. And he is the last vestige of that institution. I don't care how you feel about him. Stop making everything emotional. Do you guys know something? And I hate to be the bearer of this news. Most people don't care how you feel. I care how you feel. Rhea cares how you feel. Carrie, Kyle, Tori Lowe, Benjamin. Dr. Ken doesn't care how you feel. I don't think he cares. But for the most part, Don't nobody care. We pretend to care, like people in general pretend, like, oh, what's going on? How are you? And if somebody says, oh, I'm not doing too good, then you should see the other person's face because they don't want to hear that you're not doing good. When we're asking somebody how they're doing, we only want to hear that they're doing good because we're not prepared to deal with the fact that they may not be doing good because we can't do nothing about it. And again, we probably don't care because we may not be doing good either. So we make everything about how we feel. Even Republicans that love black people, when it comes to politics, there is no love. This is the legislation that they're going to create. This is what they're going to vote for. This is what they're going to support. And they may like black people a ton. I believe that there are some Republicans that like black people a lot. I've met some. But it's not emotional for them. They may have emotional sentiments toward black people. You might even have white male Republican legislators married to black women but will vote to take away her unfettered access to the ballot. Let me give you a better example, one that I hope clicks and makes a little more sense. You may have men that love women, like love their cousins, their aunties, their mamas, their grandmamas, their daughters. You have men that love their wives but will vote to make sure that those women don't have control over their own reproductive health. Do you see how it goes? It's not emotional because there are men that love women. They really do. They take care of them. They protect them, but they take the emotion out of it because when it's time to vote and create policy, there's no room for emotion. We still voting with emotion. But Sherwin, I don't like that candidate. The candidate don't like you either. Do you know how much time I have spent with elected officials and candidates for office over my lifetime? More than I care to admit. The longer they're in office, the more detached they actually get in some cases. A lot of times they can't stand voters because voters are unrealistic. So if I vote for you, gas is going to be free. I don't have to pay my rent, my mortgage, my utilities. Interest rates are going to be low. There's going to be no more climate change. Everybody's going to be treated fairly. There's going to be no more racism, and I'm going to get reparations if I vote for you, right? That's what am I going to get from my vote? Yeah, not really a lot of that. Not most of. You'll get a conversation about that stuff. Well, then I don't think I'm going to vote then. If I'm not going to get free Obamacare and a new car and chicken wings. Why do they take a chicken wing? It's one chicken wing and they cut it and they sell it as two. The drummy and the flat is one wing. And then the tip, it's the tip. It's 3 parts of the chicken wing. Y'all eat the tip. I probably shouldn't say the tip with you guys because you're a bunch of perverts. Like you're not going to get everything. Like you can get some progress. You can get a committee meeting. You can get a bill. You can get a public hearing, but you're not going to get everything for your vote because we make it too emotional. There are people that vote against their best interests because they take emotion out of it. There are people that vote that say, you know what, this is not for me per se. This is for everybody else. This is like big picture stuff. I'm not going to get anything out of voting for this person, but somebody else will. They take the emotion out of it. They don't care if they like the candidate or not. You know, Joe Biden is not perfect. He's somewhere right now falling. That's fine. Joe Biden he doesn't even have to stand. Just let him lay down because then you won't catch him falling. It's fine. I don't care if he falls or not. I don't like Joe Biden because he's old. So stupid. He's an institution. He's a part of an institution that I believe is worth preserving. Like democracy is not perfect, but it doesn't get better if we end it. 414-875 says, do we have enough sex workers for the RNC? We don't even have enough hotels. Oh, that's right. They'll be staying out in Waukesha. So for the sex workers, I can't answer that, but I'm sure some of them will be imported from cities and towns nearby. All right, who is this? Kiana says, hey, don't call me out about the flu shot. That's just my opinion from life experiences and beliefs. Kiana, and I'm not calling you out, but I think your sentiment is one that is all too common. In the most healthy, I'm sorry, I gotta get this right, the most unhealthy, first to die, live the sickest race of people in this country. We can have opinions about stuff, right? And that's great. But that doesn't change the facts. While the flu shot is not perfect and some people will have a reaction to it, to tell people not to get it is killing your own people. Now, again, that may go against your opinion, but Kiana, you and I both, and I'm going to admit this, we're not trained doctors, but I listen to doctors. I listen to medical professionals because they went to school for stuff. Some of y'all listen to me for political commentary. I went to school and worked in the industry for 2 decades. I know sums about it. Y'all are not doctors. And from what I've seen, when the kids was at home during the pandemics, y'all couldn't even help them with 5th grade math. Oh, but now you're virologists. Well, no, I'm not going to get the COVID vaccine because in the creation of the COVID vaccine and the messenger RNA, I don't think that the formulation is proper, especially when you look at the bio ingredients and the replication of the messenger RNA within the cells and the nucleus and the mitochondria. Y'all just Googled a bunch of stuff and were influenced by a bad algorithm and think that's research. You know what most research is? And somebody's like texted and said, oh, what's the show topic today? I don't know what it is. What is the show topic today? Fascism? Trump? Wife beaters? Studs? No? All right. You didn't want to comment on that one, did you? I threw you off and I said studs. The studs going to be looking for me worse than the Africans are. Ooh, if the Africans join in with the studs, I'm through. Yowzers. When most people do research, you are researching things from people that didn't do research. And you call it research. Oh, I hear y'all. Do your research. Do your research. And what you do, you go on the internet, you find an article that is just as ignorant as your sentiment, and you're like, I did research. See, I found an article that agrees with me. Our research is looking up stuff from people that didn't do their research, but they put it on the internet. All right, I got to take a break. A little pause for the cause. We're going to play some public service announcements and ads, and then we're going to play a little music, and then we're going to come back. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Black Chamber Radio. December 8th, 2023, the Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce will once again bring to life the Black and Diverse Business Showcase. You should be there. Featuring black and diverse businesses from around the state. You should be there. TWBCC.com to register now. You should be there. Vendors, you should be there. Entrepreneurs, you should be there. Elected officials, you should be there. TWBCC.com to register now.
You should be there.
You will never see black and diverse businesses the same way again. You should be there. Register at TWBCC.com today so you can be there. December 8th, 2023.
You should be there.
You should be there.
Hey, it's Jason Wildig for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards, That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee's favorite station.
Please, Lisa, please, for the love of Jehovah, don't kick me or anybody with a prosthetic leg. Please. Why do I even gotta say please? Because what if you kick me and it falls off? I ain't gonna pick it up. You try to kick me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit you with your own leg. I'll teach you a lesson.
Coming with straight truth.
And you know what? If you want to make it about race, I need you to hold your black men accountable. Don't let these black men get away with anything. Because what does that say about you? Because if you're going to be that person who's not going to hold your own people accountable, we have nothing to talk about. I'm sorry, that's a real old school mentality, my guy.
Tune in to all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows all day, every day by downloading the Truth app.
We got to get back into common courtesy.
It's about the family structure.
Right. It is.
Our extended family, we are all family in Milwaukee. Come on now.
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
.117 The Truth, Sherwin Hughes for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying rent to a landlord? You should be paying yourself by having a mortgage. Axe coaches are here to help. If you go to axehousing.org, that is actshousing.org, you can get started on a virtual home buying orientation. An Axe coach will put together a plan and a budget for you. They can even get you more money for down payment assistance. So if you're not thinking of home ownership by now, well, what's wrong with you? You should be. There's a lot of houses out there. Go get one via Axe Housing. That's axehousing.org, actshousing.org. Don't let where you are financially today get in the way of your bright future becoming a homeowner. Axe Housing can help. The award-winning 1017 The Truth is home of Milwaukee Panthers basketball. Don't miss any of the Hoops action by listening to Panthers basketball on 1017 The Truth app, which you should download for free, and all your favorite streaming platforms. The Panthers head to St. Paul, Minnesota to take on the St. Thomas Tommies Wednesday night. Coverage begins at 6:30. Tip-off is set for 7. And that's all. The Packers beat the Kansas City Swifts on Sunday. That was a good game. Taylor Swift needs to stop it. What if Taylor Swift is just a thought? What if she is? What if she's just... What if it's just all image? What if she's not as pure as you may think? Are you a Swiftie, Rhea? I don't know what that expression means.
No, I am not.
Really?
Why are you shocked by this?
Because she's very popular.
Okay.
She's generic to me. There's nothing special about her music.
I don't really like her, but I like that she writes all of her own music and does a lot of stuff for women.
She's been broken up with a lot of heartbreak.
I wouldn't call it heartbreak.
Well, what is it?
I don't know, but that's not it.
It's a lot of it is breakup songs and I'm over you. You can't keep me down. If he can't keep you down, you don't write a song about it. That means you're still hurting, which is fine. Everybody deals with heartbreak differently. But Beyonce is infinitely more talented. Beyonce is more talented than her husband. That's an unusual marriage. No, it's a marriage of like business and entertainment royalty. Like they have an empire, but empires are not romantic. And then Jay-Z got caught cheating. That's a whole nother thing. He wrote a song about it. He's got a whole album kind of dedicated to Beyonce. 444 is a lot of his apologies for cheating. And don't cheat. And also, fellas, can I talk to you for a second? Ladies, you can certainly listen. We're going to listen anyway. You do not have to lie to a woman. You don't. Stop it. Because if she likes you enough, she'll lie to herself and her friends and her family. So stop lying to women. Let the women lie on their own, gentlemen. Not ladies, of course. We don't want you to lie, but we can't stop you. We can't. All right, let me read some of these text messages. Here's the one thing that I've learned. I need to charge my phone. Is there a way I can charge my phone in the studio? There used to be a charger in here. It ain't in here no more. A bunch of y'all got iPhones. I can't charge my Android phone. So with these text messages coming to my cell phone, my battery is almost dead. Like, I'm not going to make it home with any battery. What is this here? Who is this? Guarantee the marketing dude that came up with that campaign lost his job. Oh, talking about Budweiser. Oh, thanks, Rhea. With 11 minutes left in the show. And I don't even think this will reach. Oh, yeah, it will.
It may not work.
Nope.
Well, that might be someone else's charger. Don't throw it.
That's Zach's charger for his computer, I think. Hey, Sherwin, did you know that only women have 2 floating ribs? No, they don't. What do you mean floating? Is there like still a belief that women have a different number of ribs than men do? Don't we all have 24 ribs, 12 on each side? Women don't have less ribs. I think that was a lie. Where God made somebody out of somebody's ribs. God made Eve out of Adam's rib. So then wouldn't we have less ribs? Or did God make Adam out of Eve's ribs? We got the same number of ribs. And if women have less ribs, it's to make room for like them to get pregnant. No, but they don't have less ribs. We got the same number of ribs. That's one of the differences not talked about when punk ass dudes try to become a woman. So no biological male can become female. Well, we got the same number of ribs. And plus, ain't nobody counting ribs. I've never been involved with a woman, the Rhea's over here, counting her damn ribs. Rhea, you need to be on camera so people can see what the hell you do during this show. Be cussing me out, flipping me off. She's real vulgar. 414467 says, big fan of yours. You speak the truth. Thank you. People always want handouts. People only vote if they feel they get something out of it. And like you say, gas is the least of your problems. Yeah, people always, we exchange votes for money a lot of times. All right. 414349 said, Bob is coming. No, hell he ain't. Me and my family, my kids, we just got our COVID and flu shots. We are Hispanic. We get it every year. Thank you, Hispanic people. Oh, I didn't finish Kiana's comment. Here's what she said. Hey, don't call me out about the flu shot. That's just my opinion from life experiences and beliefs. There are a lot of natural remedies to help with sickness that don't involve putting artificial man-made drugs in our bodies. A lot of our sicknesses come from what we eat. In fact, the flu is man's fault. Trying to domesticate animals that should not have been part of our food chain, and it wasn't necessary. It was greed that caused it. The flu came from our European countries, just like all the rest of the bad things on earth. I know people think I'm racist. I love all people. I can't help what history tells us. So there's this thing called a virus, which is a naturally occurring phenomenon. And a virus cannot live and replicate unless it has a host. The human body is the host for the virus. It is how it is able to feed itself, how it is able to replicate. Now, there are things that human beings can do to stop the spread of those viruses, but you can't ever ask human beings to do anything preventative. And as far as not wanting man-made things and chemicals in our bodies, please read the labels of some of your favorite foods, or more importantly, the food that you eat at a restaurant or a fast food restaurant, you don't even know what's in it. Let me be abundantly clear. None of y'all have polio, or you shouldn't. Measles, mumps, rubella, tetanus. Y'all don't have that. Why? Because you got chemicals in your body. We got to stop being afraid of things that we don't understand. You know what? I'm at a point in my life where I can just trust the experts. I guarantee you this. If y'all get a diagnosis of cancer, you ain't just going to pray on it. You ain't just going to try a whole bunch of homeopathic remedies. You're going to the best cancer doctor you can possibly get. And what are they going to do? Pump you full of stuff. They're like, oh, yeah, you got 6 months to live if you try and do this on your own. However, if you agree to chemotherapy and radiation and some of these other treatments we have for cancer, you may go into remission and live the rest of your life to see your damn kids grow up. Well, then we ain't got a problem with science and medicine. I get so frustrated, y'all, because it's black folks who are the most unhealthy, but for some reason have the absolute best health advice. That's like the person that's been divorced 4 times trying to tell y'all about your relationships. Got me over here hot. I already got a fragile voice. Oh, made me lose my voice. Let's see what else y'all saying. Kiana, I'm not going to look up what you find when you Google because I'm going to get different results. The flu is less prevalent in the summer because people are outdoors. It's more prevalent in the wintertime because we're inside touching everything. People touching door handles, touching their faces, and then they touch other stuff. How do we not know this? Oh, now she calling. No, no. I ain't arguing with her in my last segment of the show. She gonna get her feelings hurt. 414788 says, don't think too much about the inmate stuff relationship. It's not as hard to court one of them females as you would think. Oh, God, no. Some of those women, female guards that fall in love with inmates, they want somebody who they can control and then also like fix. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. They need that guard. They need that prison guard sneaking in cocaine and cell phone. They make TikTok videos from prison. Y'all know that? I'm serious. And Zach is co-signing it. They sneak cell phones in prisons, and it's people on the phone. They're charging their phones in prison. 414788 says, America needs to crumble. This is the only 2 things they said. They said America needs to crumble and a trans man is never a woman. Well, America is crumbling. And a trans man isn't a woman. A trans man is a man. All right, I got to take a break. It's going to be the last one of the show. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017. I'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee, it's Denise Thomas.
And Telly Hughes from Truth Be Told on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
We want to make sure you join us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. for our Black Friday shout-out powered by We Energies.
Black Friday is your opportunity to call into 1017 The Truth and shout out your black-owned business and let Milwaukee know what you have to offer.
So hit us up every Friday at 8 a.m. to shout out your black-owned business on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Telly Hughes with his truth.
My mom used to always tell me, be careful of the company you keep. My interpretation of that message was, don't hang out around bad people doing bad things. When my thoughts became a little more sophisticated, I realized it was her way of making me understand the power of influence others can have on your decisions. No matter the distance perception might be from reality, you are or will become who you hang around. Benefit by surrounding yourself with like-minded people or mentors you can see yourself becoming and use their journey as a blueprint. That's why you don't see eagles hanging with pigeons, because they don't have the same goals or aspirations. Words are just words when you don't understand or practice the meaning. So I had to turn to one of my favorite books. That's right, sounds nerdy, but I went to the old dictionary to look up the word company. One of the definitions of company is the fact or condition of being with another or others, especially in a way that provides friendship and enjoyment. In addition to that definition, keep in mind the company you keep is a choice. The company you keep can propel you to great heights or rob you of all your hopes and dreams based on your association or who is championing you. Don't be afraid to stand up and stand out for the right reasons, even if that means having to do it alone, because sooner or later, others will understand.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth Be Told with DT and Telly weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This is 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and I am Milwaukee. Truth in the Afternoon is a platform where you and I can share our love, our lives, and our journey together. That is why, as a fan, your perspective is key. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm going to let the YouTube commenters name this last hour. So we have a 1017 The Truth app. So if you miss a show, you can download our free app, and then we have podcasts of each and every one of our programs on 1017 The Truth, and we title each hour. But we're having a little difficulty coming up with a title for this last hour because we've been all over the place. So the next YouTube commenter to come up with a title for this hour, that's the one we're going to go with. Please keep it clean. Rhea wanted to call one of the hours Studs and Trump and Studs fighting Sherwin. Studs is not an offensive term, is it? No, they call themselves studs.
Wife beaters and stud fights.
Wife beaters and stud fights. Yep. A stud will take your woman, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know what? My guy had that happen to him. Like, he went to the bathroom. He was at a club, and he went to the bathroom, and the girl he was hanging out with at the club, it wasn't his girlfriend or nothing, but he was a girl he was talking to at the club. And I'm sure he was making plans for that woman after the club. He came back, and the girl he was talking to a stud, and his girl he was talking to left with the stud. Well, nothing he could do about it. And he said the most disrespectful thing about the whole thing, and I can just picture this in my mind, is as the stud is walking away with his girl that he was talking to, the stud looked over her shoulder and winked her eye. Ooh, that's just wrong. But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? No, Zach, you can't fight the studs. I'd rather you not. All right. Zuri said turn the camera back on. Well, they turn the camera off when I go on commercial. That's my private time. Y'all already looking in my face for 3 hours. When we go to commercial, they turn the camera off. Marvin Jenkins says, good morning, Sherwin and Rhea. I completely agree with you. Not many hosts will say that not everyone can be rehabilitated. Thanks for saying that. Well, it's the truth. Creation Muse says, it'll be nice when industries allow you to own your own person as well as them. You should be able to make money off of self as long as it does not interfere with your job. But you can make money off yourself. Selling butt. That's entrepreneur, right? That's the oldest profession. What does butt go for nowadays? What's the going rate for butt? $150, $400, $2, $4, $24. Y'all just holding up random numbers like we know damn Price is Right. 2, 4, 9, $24.99. What kind of butt you buying? That's discount butt. That's Groupon butt. Buy one butt, get another. This is why I don't win awards. The lower rib grows back if you take part of it out. What? Ribs don't. Can y'all name the hour of the show? And Eastside Corey says Sherwin's propaganda hour of hate. That's not true. Everything is love. Eastside Corey says, I think you owe an apology for yesterday's comment on yoga to Miss Rhea. So I actually got hate on me talking about yoga. This dude I went to high school with, who I ain't seen in like 30 years, send me an inbox. It's not cool, dude. You're hating on yoga. I'm like, it's not cool that you're doing it. All yoga is various doggy style.
Oh, just no, you're so wrong.
Okay. Isn't like a classic universal pose downward dog?
Yeah.
I've seen that pose before in movies. Okay. Then there's the warrior pose. That's the one that you do. That's the foreplay. Oh, Zach knows the warrior pose. Dude, sit down. I don't even want to know how you know. What is that?
Pigeon.
That's called a pigeon. Can y'all please name the hour of the show so we can just get it over with? Because we don't know what we're going to call this last hour because we named the podcast by hour and we've been all over the place. Barbara Smith just asked what a stud is. Oh, Barbara. So it is a woman, biological woman, that presents as a man that is a lesbian. So they dress like men. They got short haircuts like men. No, because you can't be a stud with long hair. They're lesbian ladies, but they present as men. Like they sag their pants. They do all the stuff. But studs is more like of African American term for that style of woman. I don't know if I've ever seen a white stud before. White studs they'll probably just call butch. That would probably be a more apt term. Okay, well, since nobody is coming up with a title except for Eastside Core, I guess we're going to call the third hour of this show on the podcast Sherwin's Propaganda Hour of Hate. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you next time.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call That's All Gruber Cash giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 1017 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway.